chapter of the first or the book that I was about to release. And what that actually did was got people to buy in. And then on the back end, they became a part of my contact list, if you will. So I went from an 800 member email list to now have over 3,000 people on the list. And of those 3,000 people on the list, we built even more back-end offers. We're bringing people through this free online webinar, and people are excited about this free information about how a wanderlust author like me travels the world in luxury to write her books, sometimes for less than $500.
And then we kind of transitioned into this whole travel world, and all we did was just continue to serve your clients and their interests. Talk to us, people like to hear about revenue journey.
So real moment of honesty, the whole term of broke artist is a real thing. Revenue-wise, I wrote my first book published in 2021. So between 2021 and mid-2024, I probably had made $8,000 total in revenue for all books. 2025 first quarter. In one quarter, I have made more than I have made in the last 3 years on my books. So hopefully that describes it. I think it's 4X.
Say has been the biggest aha or your big win since working with us?
Webinars actually work. Having a training or a not necessarily a consulting offer, but having a course that people truly want information and that you actually give value actually works to generate revenue.
That's what I'm doing. Now just think, and I've had to ask myself this question, where would I be if I had listened to Coach Nick and not been resistant, if I had listened to him in the first place? That aside, I am so excited that not him, he had it all the time. See, he had the ability to read me, to know exactly what I needed. He had it. I didn't have it. So I am grateful that he helped me get clarity on what I was doing, on what my purpose is. And by working with him, he has given me the confidence to step fully into my power. I'm just saying, you need a business coach? He's the one. Ability to see what, for all my smarts, I just didn't see. He had the ability to lay it out in a way that made sense. It's like a step-by-step process. I mean, that's what it is, a template.
So when you launched, talk about your results of when you launched. How much did you make? How long did it take you to make it? And all the things.
In transparency, before I launched, I was making a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there. But when I launched, I made $7,000 in 2 weeks. So
Stephen is the masterpiece, the goddess of love and motivation. I am a celebrity blogger. I have more than 500,000 followers. I'm close to growing to 1 million followers on social media. And then I came across Nick. I got a Nick's mastermind, and it's like all of a sudden I got excited again. I got reinvigorated, and I got to know myself.
Oh, my apologies, guys. Our video cut a little short. Let me go back. I apologize about that. We were in it too.
Hey, I'm Cher to the race. I'm
grateful that I'm just saying, you need a business coach? He's the one. Ability to see what, for all my smarts, I just didn't see. He had the ability to lay it out in a way that made sense. It's like a step-by-step process. I mean, that's what it is, a template.
So when you launched, talk about your results of when you launched. How much did you make? How long did it take you to make it? And all the things.
In transparency, before I launched, I was making a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there. But when I launched, I made $7,000 in 2 weeks. So
Stephen is the masterpiece, the goddess of love and motivation. I am a celebrity blogger. I have more than 500,000 followers. I'm close to growing to 1 million followers on social media. And then I came across Nick. I got Nick's mastermind. And it's like all of a sudden I got excited again. I got reinvigorated and I got to know myself a little more. As soon as I got into this mastermind, I went to a 10K month. Well, it was really a 10K week, but we're going to say a 10K month. And then the next month, getting more confidence on how to pitch my offer, how to reframe my strategy and my messaging. I literally had a 10K day. And let me tell you how good Nick is. In this 10K day, it was really a 10K like 3 hours. Like it was really like, like that.
We launching my business. I had an $8,000 launch.
Since our launch, we have made 8 to 10K.
I was able to not only launch I Am Rochelle Cooper, also I was able to leave my full-time job.
I'm actually contracting employees.
Nick has helped us. We are now vacationing.
I made my first 5K launch.
I would say don't hesitate. Like the program is awesome. Trust Coach Nick's process.
Wherever you are, wherever you're watching it, please do well to subscribe and join this coaching section. You want to launch your business, you want to take your business to the next level, you've been struggling with that big idea that you want to launch, you can actually start up something for yourself.
So trust the process, take the course.
If you just trust it, just trust it and actually go through the steps. But if you follow the process and take like each step at a time and do the assignments, like you definitely gonna see the results. And the biggest thing
We just finished a one-on-one session. Randy, just tell the people a little bit how you feel, what we accomplished.
All right, so at this point, well, before the call, I was definitely in limbo. I was explained that to Coach Nick, and in just 30 minutes, I got clarity. I have direction. Like the fog is clearing up, and I'm almost able to see this light at the end of the road in 30 minutes.
How excited are you for your new
I'm
journey?
too excited. I am too excited, and I just, like I told you, I just want to save these women. I just want to help these women. I just I'm sorry. I know it's being recorded.
It's all good. It's all good.
Nana, you just cleared that up. You just cleared that up, and you let me know what I'm really here for, why I'm still here, and why I'm overcoming the way I am. And thank you, Coach Nick.
Of course, you will help these women get their life back. So let's go do it. It's time to put our money where our mouth is. So let's work.
Let's get it.
All right.
Welcome everyone to How to Sell More with a webinar. I'm so excited to see you guys in the chat. You're already interacting with us. Welcome Fran from Arkansas. Welcome Michelle from Florida. We have Julie in the house, Carlanti in the house, Colleen. Let me know where you are joining us from. Where are you from? Let us know where you're joining us from. The other thing I want from you is let me know what you're hoping to get out of today. Like, what are you facing in your business that has you spending your Saturday morning with us? For many business owners, it's relaunching, it's getting that access to brand new people in your funnel. I had one amazing business owner on our last webinar. She said, I feel like I'm in an aquarium. I'm talking to the same people over and over, and I want to be in the ocean. I want brand new leads and brand new contacts. If that's you, you're not alone. You're in the right place. Hey, Colleen, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. You can correct me. She's from Baltimore. She said, yep, that's how I feel. We do not want to be swappers of aquariums. We want to be in the big blue ocean of business, and we want brand new leads. So welcome to How to Sell More with a webinar. We're excited to have you because today is to the point. This is about giving you the strategies, giving you some insight, some tools, and some clarity on helping you scale your business with a webinar system. not a webinar system. And so for those of you who are new, Coach Nick is the founder and CEO of CEO Mentality. And the being behind the scenes and just seeing how he works is amazing, because Coach Nick is the person you need in your corner so that he can give you insight that maybe you don't see, give you advice that you probably wouldn't have thought of, and help you lead your business in the right direction. Has anyone ever felt like, I just need someone who's been here before, who's done this a dozen more times than me, who can say, nope, yep, nope, edit that. That's that person. And even more so, what I love about Coach Nick is, in a world of coaches that want to motivate you, and there's nothing wrong with that. They want to inspire you, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's amazing coaches that do that. What Coach Nick is so good at is being the analytical brain in your business. And that's not something you see a lot. And he's able to analyze your business and show you what you need to change, and to do it quickly. I've watched him do this in 20 minutes on a call with someone. Ohio in the house, thank you. Let us know where you're from. So Coach Nick is the creator of this entire webinar selling system, and he's helped hundreds of business owners and service providers generate consistent revenue and grow to 6 and even 7 figures by leveraging systems that we're going to talk about today. Now, the key word in that sentence was consistent revenue. How do you know? Anyone here knows what it feels like to make a sale, make 2 sales, launch your business. You make 3 sales, you're feeling good. And then the next month comes nothing. And the month after that, nothing. And you're thinking, okay, I did something right. I know I have something magical here, but what's happening with these dry months? And I need you to know, again, you're not alone. You just need an analytical eye. You need a team to come in and to help you, guide you in the right direction. You can't see the picture when you're in the frame. And so you're doing the right thing. I want to commend you, because by being on this call today, I know a couple of things about you. I know that you're serious. I know that you're willing to invest, because right now you're investing time. I know that you want something different than you've been getting, because you're spending your Saturday morning and your Saturday afternoon here with us, and we're going to make it worthwhile. So today, here's what you can expect. Coach Nick is going to break down key steps to helping you build a profitable webinar system, just like the webinar that you're viewing today. How did you get here? Think about the process that got you here. Now imagine if we could implement that process in your business. In fact, as you're learning today, I don't want you to just be in the audience. I want you to put your business brain on, and I want you to consider everything Coach Nick is doing and what would happen if you could implement that in your business. You're also going to learn the exact strategies that Coach Nick uses with his private clients, and how he's able to get more qualified clients. And you're going to learn how to position your offer so that you're speaking to the right people and that you're getting the audience to say yes. So before we wrap up, or before we get started here and wrap up our intro, I just want to give you guys an opportunity to join us in the chat and let me know, what are you hoping to get out of today? I'm going to need you to just be a little vulnerable. I need you to share just a little bit. But here's, there's other business owners on this line. Everyone on this line is a business owner or an entrepreneur. And so when you share and when you're vulnerable, guess what you're doing? You're helping the next business owner realize they're not alone. That it's not just them. It's not a you problem. As unique and as beautiful as you are, your problems are not. Your problems are not unique. Your problems have been had by another business owner before. And today we're going to put them on the table. We're going to talk about them. We're going to reassure you that it's not a you thing. It's a system thing. And we're going to help you adopt strategies and tools that can change your business today. Someone's going to leave today and do something they learned today and get different results. That's not rare. That happens every webinar. Every webinar, someone says, yep, I actually did this, and here's what I'm doing differently. And so I'm excited for those of you on the line that are serious. Here's my advice. Get your pen and paper out. Note takers are money makers. Get your pen and paper out. Treat this like a private call with Coach Nick. Sometimes we don't have access to all the great people that we need to take our business to the next level. That's not you today. Today, you're invited through the front door, and you have one-on-one time with a gentleman that has helped entrepreneurs, service providers, business owners from every industry you can think of. from every vertical that you can think of. Help them take their business to the next level with consistent sales. And consistency is the difference between someone that makes a couple $1,000s this year and someone that makes 6 figures this year. The consistency is what you want. So I'm so excited to introduce you to our coach, Nick, our CEO of CEO Mentality, and to really just have some transformation with you today. The goal of this call is some transformation. Coach Nick, are you on the line? Are you ready for us?
Give me 2 more minutes, Juan.
Okay. Guys, we're setting up in our live studio in Atlanta, Georgia. If you're in the area, hello, hello. We're setting up in our live studio in Atlanta, Georgia, where Coach Nick is going to be going through how to sell more with webinars. So I want to address the chat a little bit. Carlanti says, is today going to be recorded? What's happening right now, Carlanti, we're actually live streaming on YouTube right now. And so for just a little bit, it will be available for replay on YouTube. But this is not the call that you want to jump off early and try to come back on Monday or Tuesday and see if it's still on YouTube. It won't be. I want to encourage you to just clear a little bit of time this afternoon, this morning, wherever you are, and get some notes. Keep us in your earbud. If you have to move around, you know, I've got kids. I get it. If you have to move around a little bit, be a little selfish with your time today. You've got one-on-one time with a coach that helps people turn their businesses into 6 figures. Be a little selfish today. I give you some permission. Keep us in your earbud. Keep that notepad and that pencil moving. Fran says, awesome, here to support. Colleen says, yep, that's how I feel. Out of Baltimore, you're tired of being in the aquarium talking to the same people. Our last webinar, there was a woman that she is a coach, and she was sharing with us how she'd been coaching for over 20 years. And you would think in that amount of time that she would have a list of thousands of brand new leads and contacts that are refreshing. But the problem she had, Colleen, is she said, I feel like I'm talking to the same people over and over. I feel like I'm talking to the same 10 people about my business over and over. And some of them have bought before, and some of them kind of hang out for the freebies. Yeah. They sign up for the newsletter. They say, that sounds like a great idea, but they never buy. I think it's really frustrating. I'm saying these examples because you need to know it's not just you. And so when you feel like you're stuck in an aquarium of people and you're having the same, that can be deflating. And I had a mentor tell me this, and I thought, man, this message is kind of a weird way to say it, but I understand why he said it this way, so it stick with me forever. He said, new blood is the lifeblood of your business. And I said, okay, well, how do I get new people to know I exist? What do I need to do? Do I need to do TikTok dances? No. I'm going to assure you, I have never seen Coach Nick do a TikTok dance. And
I've done it.
Done it. I've never seen it. We might have to see it today.
It didn't get any leads, but I did it.
And so you guys, I'm so excited. I want you to feel like you are in a room with people who care about you, who are, yes, your friends, but also who want to see you get to the next level. And I want to introduce Coach Nick to the floor. And I just want to, because I know he won't say this, he's too humble to say this, but I want to say this. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very rare in the year 2025 for people to reach one and teach one, to reach back. It's rare. And so I just love and I commend the people like Coach Nick that are out really doing the hard work with entrepreneurs and business owners. Today's not about giving you some information and then putting a paywall for the rest of the information. Hello. How many webinars have you been on where they get you to 90% and then for the rest you got to pay? That's not what today is. In fact, he's going to give you everything about this strategy. You're not going to leave with any blanks on your paper. And then at the end, he's going to ask you, do you want to implement this system into your business? We're going to show you everything. And then at the end, it's your choice if this aligns with your business. So ladies and gentlemen, show some love in the chat. Let's have some good energy. I know we're on a webinar, but let's act like we're in a room together. Energy is everything. How you do one thing is how you do everything. I want you to give me the energy right now as if the energy you're about to give me is going to come back to you tenfold in a brand new audience, in brand new signups, in brand new clients. That's the energy I want. I want you poised for your first 7 figures. Are you even sitting up? Like you're ready to make 7 figures. If I stopped you right now and took a picture of what you were doing, do you look like you're about to make 7 figures? Get up off the bed. Sit up. Turn your cameras on. Some of us are serious. Some of us, we need to make this work. We don't have a mama and daddy to bail us out. Some of us know the desires of our heart is through the business that has been given to us. And if that's you, I want you to separate yourself from the crowd right now. Turn your cameras on, get serious, say hello in the chat, and show some love for my great friend, my coach as well, Coach Nick.
What's going on? Woo! Y'all give it up for Wanda. First of all, what an introduction. Wanda does it for me every time. Listen, I'm so grateful that you all have chose to spend your afternoon with me. Give me a let's go in the chat if you are ready to take your business to the next level. Give me a let's go. Yes, I got a let's go from Wanda. What's up, friend? What's up, Carlanti? Did I say it right? Let's go. Listen, I know that it's Saturday afternoon. I know you may be at work and listening to me in your ear pods. I know that you may be driving or doing everything else. But like Wanda said, I want you to give yourself permission. I want you to give yourself permission to take advantage of this time and invest in your business. You don't realize until you're in this space how much you give to other people. Put a guilty in the chat if you've given to everyone else. You're the mom, you're the husband, you're the wife, you're the career woman, you're running the business. You know, you're the one that they go to at church. You're the one that they go to in the community to volunteer, to do this and do that. Right? Put a guilty in the chat. I just have one. That's it? Okay, I see some more. Listen, I want you to invest this time in you. You are in the How to Sell Anything with Webinars or How to Sell More with Webinars workshop. So this is essentially a 3-day challenge, but is it okay if I compress time for you and teach you everything in one sitting? Are y'all committed? Do I have your commitment for the next couple of hours that we're gonna lock in? You're gonna take notes, you're gonna ask questions. I actually have activities for you to do so that you can sell more of your products and services with webinars. Listen, so for those of you who don't know me, let me introduce myself first because I know I just came on strong. And Wanda, let me know if my sound is okay because I know I'm from a different thing today.
Sounds great, Coach.
Okay. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nicholas Marque, Coach Nick. I have been a business coach and consultant for the last, since 2020, but I've been in entrepreneurship since 2012. So over a decade, almost 15 years now. Gosh, I can't even fathom that, right? And when I first started my first business in event planning, I started right out of college. And I didn't know how to charge for my services. I didn't know how to generate revenue, how to convert clients. And listen, I just knew how to plan an event, right? And I know some of you probably feel the same way, right? I just want to help people with their life, right? Or I just want to help people save money, or I just want to help people build businesses, right? We just want to do our thing. And it wasn't until I got my first client, and y'all, it was a baby shower, right? So I did the decor, I did the food because I thought I was gonna do catering and event planning at the same time. The baby mama was asking me to throw away people's plates and fix people's plates. How many of you can guess how much I made from that first client? If you see me looking over, I'm also live on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, join us in the webinar room. Or if you're on YouTube, join us in the webinar room. You can click the link in my bio. How many of you can guess? Drop in the chat how much you think I made from that client. I did the food. I did the decor. I did the invitations. I was on site coordinating, throwing away plates. 500. Fran, you're generous. 2,000. I wish. Michelle. Colleen says 0. Now, Colleen, I was ignorant, but I wasn't a fool. Okay. $100. $100 for all that work. And in the moment, I was pissed at the client. I'm not even gonna lie. But in hindsight, I was upset with myself because you just don't know what you don't know. And I didn't know what I didn't know. How many of you just say that right now? You're in this workshop or you attend these workshops because you're like, what is the strategy? I have the solution to someone's problem. I know what I'm doing. I'm good at what I do, but I need the strategy and I don't know what I don't know. And so I felt like I got a call from God, or that God spoke to me and was like, hey, it's time to move to Atlanta and get a fresh start. It's Black Hollywood, everyone has their event planners. And I moved to Atlanta, and I was able to work with companies like Coca-Cola, BET, Delta Airlines, these big Fortune 500 companies, but it didn't start that way. Actually, I started here as a server at Longhorn, and I was underpaid, I was overworked. I literally would go to work and come home and pray to God that the lights would be cut on, or that the tow truck that was outside wasn't there to repossess my car. But how many of you know when you are at rock bottom, your only choice in direction is to go where? What's the only choice in direction? It's to go up. And so I don't know what your story is, right? I don't know. Maybe you didn't have your lights cut off, or maybe you didn't have the struggle story like mine, but everyone has a rock bottom story. And some of you are at rock bottom right now, and the only choice you have is to go up. And so I made success non-negotiable. And I was just booming, right? I even had a job as an event planner, or and as event manager at a hotel at the same time. And I had just closed $1 million contract, for my place of employment. And I was celebrated, Rosemary, uh, uh, Heidi. I was given the corner office. They called me out and stand up. And then the pandemic was announced. And 2 weeks after that, so was my departure. Right? My boss came in and he said, Nick, we don't know what this is going to do for the business, and we have to lay you off. And so I'm asking God, like, what am I going to do? All I know is events. All my personal clients had canceled their contracts. My job that I just closed $1 million for, which I'm like, you can't find my salary in that $1 million. That's okay. It gets better. They had laid me off. And so I'm asking God, what do I do about my event business? Now, when I was working with these big Fortune 500 companies, I also worked with small businesses, right? And what I did for them were essentially launch events. And I would ear hustle what was going on with Coca-Cola or Microsoft for their trade show. While I was there to be their trade show coordinator, I was also listening to their marketing and their sales plans and giving those to small business owners, right? And so I found myself after COVID getting on calls with friends and family, helping them start their business, teaching them sales and marketing, and helping them plan virtual launch events. Because it was a pandemic, we couldn't really do what we needed to do, right? And when I asked my God, I discovered this world of coaching, and I worked with the coach to turn this into something. I'm like, okay, I have something here. People are getting amazing results. And my coach said, hey, go ask you what was your results, right? So I went and asked my first client, my godmom. Shout out to the moms and who are first client. Anybody else's first client, their mom or dad or best friend or whoever. I asked my godmom, I said, how much have you generated in revenue in your business in the last 6 months of us working together? She had generated over $100,000, y'all. Over $100,000. Now, for some of you, y'all may be like, oh, $100,000. For me, I was like, oh, that's something. And so we use this framework to now have successfully launched over 50 plus small businesses using this framework, which is how do you create a launch event for your business to generate hype and to generate consistent sales and to attract high paying premium clients and customers, right? I've been featured not in Forbes yet. Oh, thank you, Lord. Not in Forbes yet. We're on the way. But I've been featured in New York Weekly magazine as one of the top 10 business coaches to watch in 2024. And again, I have my own event planning business where I build that to work with big Fortune 500 companies. I've built my business to multiple six figures using this framework. I've helped so many other businesses, like my client Joanna, who has surpassed 50K months. She's celebrating 5 years. We're planning her launch event for her foundation in September. Y'all give me some hand claps in the chat for Joanna. We launched her business back in 2020 as a lawyer here in Atlanta, Georgia. And now she is marching towards a seven-figure mark. And I've helped so many, and now I'm ready to help you. So if y'all are ready to get into these strategies, give me a yes in the chat. If you're ready to implement these strategies in your business, if you're ready to begin to shift the trajectory of where your business is going, give me a yes in the chat. What I also want to know is, tell me what it is that you do. So for those who just tell me very clearly what you do. Are you a life coach? Are you a business coach? Do you sell hair care products? Do you sell skincare products? Let me know in the chat because that's going to help me kind of tailor what we talk about today. All right. Now, okay, I have a retirement specialist. Okay, cool. Retirement specialist. I'm interested to learn more about that. All right, who else? What else? Let me know what you do in the chat. Instructional education coach. Oh, Colleen says, I have an online school where we certify people. Wanda, can you read that for me? Can you read those for me?
Absolutely. I have an online school where we certify people in mental health advocacy and coaching. That's Colleen out of Baltimore. Heidi says, architect, speaker, author, and trainer. Rosemarie is in skincare, and Alicia Moore is a dating coach.
Okay, cool. All right, so we got people from across the gamut. Okay, cool. Listen, the reason that this is so important of what we're going over today is because every business needs a sales presentation, right? So if you look, and the thing is, you have already been a part of a sales presentation, whether you know it or not. Okay, so if you've ever landed, I remember when I went on my first international trip to Cancun, and we landed, and somebody was like, "Hey, we have this free breakfast that you could come a part of. How old are you? Do you have a credit card?" Right? And so we go to this free breakfast, and they're showing us this amazing, beautiful property, Heidi. They're showing us this amazing, beautiful property, Alicia, and they're showing us the different rooms and taking us to the top floor and the executive suite and the clubhouse. And as soon as we finish eating, I'm like, all right, well, thank you so much for the tour. I got to go. They said, oh, no, 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 no. We have a small presentation for you, right? And then 4 hours later, I am in the middle of a timeshare presentation. I had just attended a sales presentation, right? And thank you for the free breakfast, but never again, okay? Maybe you've been walking down Costco. Anybody ever walk down Costco and they're either demonstrating something in the middle of the aisle or they're giving samples of something, and you have this person with a great personality that's standing in front of the crowd and telling you, hey, take this coupon and now you can get this discount on this product or this thing. You had just been a part of a sales presentation. Can I keep it all the way 100 with you? Put 100 in the chat if I can keep it all the way 100 with you. Put 100 in the chat. I hope I don't shoot myself in the foot with this because I know I'm in a room full of 6 and 7-figure business owners, and even if you haven't reached 6 or 7 figures yet, you are already in the mind frame and in the mind in the vibration of 6 and 7 figures. You are a part of a sales presentation right now. Can I keep it real? And I'm going to teach you how to create a sales presentation that doesn't feel salesy, that gives and delivers value, that over delivers value, and that makes it irresponsible of you to deliver that value and not offer to help the people implement at the end of that presentation. Is that all right? Is that okay? Does that make sense? We're going to over deliver on value, and then we're going to offer to work with you to implement, right? And extend an invitation, and you're going to do the same. So we're going to jump in. Let's see. I'm like I said, this is a 3-day challenge, but I want to make sure that we don't keep you here forever, but we also give you the things that you need to be successful in this. And so here's where we want to start. So a lot of times we think, and put a guilty in the chat if this is you. This is how we do business, right? Way number one is I wait for leads to find me. Leads find me by magic. I mean, we not posted on social media. We not marketing our bit. We ain't doing nothing. We want the customers to come to us. Anybody, I've been here, right? Anybody guilty of this? Like, and you could be guilty of this and not do it. You just don't know what to do. That's okay, right? I wait for leads to find me. I wait for them to see something that they like. I like that. And hopefully they buy. Right? And we're hoping that they buy, right? Or way number two, all right, maybe they do find you, but they don't find you by magic. Leads find me. They find me maybe by word of mouth. How many of you, your main way of marketing your business is word of mouth? Put WOM in the chat. Put WOM in the chat. If your main way of finding business is word of mouth, right? So leads find me. I invite them to a free consultation that nobody wants. Nobody wants a free consult. Right? I invite them to a free consultation, but I find myself overwhelming them with information on process, benefits, features, who we are, building know, like, and trust, building rapport, doing all these things. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. Right? Is this anyone's process? You invite them to a free consult, and then you feel like for the most part, you've wasted your time because they may or may not buy. Right? But what I have found the most effective way and the easier way, right? Because business is hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. Business is hard. What I found to be the more effective way is you showing up or strategically attracting your ideal client, right? You're strategically attracting your ideal client. You invite them to consume a piece of a perceived high value content. PHV, everybody write PHV in the chat. You invite them to consume a perceived high value piece of content. Okay, write PHV in the chat. Heidi said, obviously. All right. And then you either close them in this content, right? So we're gonna just kind of write this arrow here. We either close them live or we invite them to a call. But because they've consumed this content, they are more likely to show up. Also, you don't have to spend hours trying to first of all convince them to buy your product or explain who you are, what you do, how you get them there, how to get them there from point A to point B. There is still some of that. But because they've consumed this strategic piece of perceived high value piece of content, it makes the close easier. Does this make sense? This is the easier way. This is the more effective way to close sales. And you already are speaking with people who are pre-qualified. Good Lord. My phone changed PHV. Okay. So obviously. Okay, Heidi, I got you. I got you. So and look at how many less steps this is, right? 3 steps. We strategically show up. I call it go get my client, right? Where our clients are already hanging out to attract them, and we invite them to consume a piece of perceived high value content. That's your webinar. And then you either close them live or you either bring them to a call. Can somebody say, thank God that there is a less hectic way, right? And the reason that I started this, so when I first started my business, I didn't have a webinar. I didn't know anything about webinars. As a matter of fact, I tried to do a webinar and it was called Level Up. And I was teaching the 5 core components of a business. Now, listen, I'm a business geek, so I loved it. I was like, oh, okay, this is this is legit. But nobody bought. Nobody bought because they were informed and not transformed. Everybody write transform in the chat or just say it out loud. They were informed and not transformed. So what you need to know is that in your perceived high value piece of content, you have to transform and not just inform. According to Statista, 99% of marketers surveyed said that that webinars represented a critical element of their marketing plan. 72% of marketers believed that webinars significantly influence their sales pipeline and revenue generation. Meanwhile, 53% believe that webinars create the highest quality of lead of any type of funnel channel. So my question is, if every other business are doing webinars, why the heck aren't you? We're going to change that today, right, y'all? We're going to change that. Okay, so let's jump in. I'm going to give you the high-level strategy, and then we're going to dive into some tactics, okay? So I'm going to high level, and then we'll dive into some tactics. So I'm a strategist. You know, I work with clients and business owners all day, every day, on launching businesses, growing businesses, and scaling businesses. And so I have to remember to bring strategy down to the basics so I don't lose you, right? And here's the very simple terms that I could put it in. Step one is to fill. Everybody write fill in the chat. Step one is to fill. So here's what we want to do. We want to invite leads to a high value free webinar, right? But we don't want to just invite anyone. So my first webinar was like all friends and family, people who didn't really, I mean, they wanted to start a business, but they weren't serious in starting a business. And so when I made the offer, I didn't make any sales because I had the wrong people on the webinar, right? So we want to fill our webinar with high quality leads and not just attendees. All right. I'm going to break that down a little bit more in a second. Then after we fill the webinar, or I'm sorry, let me break this down a little bit more. So when we fill the webinar, we want to fill it with quality leads of our ideal client, right? Then after we fill, we want to deliver. We want to deliver content that attracts, convicts, and then converts. And when we say converts, that's at each stage of the journey, right? And we're going to dive into this too. So this is the second piece of what we're going to dive in today. How do we deliver content that attracts, convicts, and converts, right? This is your signature content that supports them making a buying decision. So I have clients that I work with a lot, and they're like, "Oh, I want to give value." And I believe in teaching value and like teaching some sauce. You know, you got that, give them the what, not the how, give them a little bit of the how, right? Give them a little bit of the how. And because our goal is to convert, right? Now, the last piece is convert. All right. So after we fill, we have to deliver. After we deliver, we have to convert. Now, where a lot of people go wrong is they think that I'm just closing on the webinar. But what you need is a process to convert them. So a lot of people, they stop at, oh, no one bought on my webinar, or one person bought on my webinar. But because they don't have a process in place to nurture their leads, their high quality leads, you're right. You're only going to make a little bit of sales because you don't have a process in place, right? And so we're going to talk about all three of these today, and how you're going to implement those, and I'm going to tell you what to do. Okay. So before we move on, I want to take any questions from the floor. Just drop them in the chat. Wanda, let me know, or raise your hand. We'll bring you up. Any questions? Let me know if y'all have questions on Instagram or YouTube. Y'all good? Oh, we got a quiet group in here today, huh?
Feel
All
free to unmute. You can unmute your line. Feel free to unmute. We want you guys to engage.
Yeah, a workshop. Okay. All right, we'll continue moving on. All right, so let's talk about filling your webinars with the right leads, right quality leads. So when you are thinking about who is coming to your webinar, the first thing you need to think about is who do you want to work with, right? Who is your ideal client? And there's 3 questions I want you to answer. We're going to give you a little bit to think about this. Who do you enjoy working with? So who do I enjoy working with? Because some of you serve multiple avatars, right? An avatar is like a client type, a buyer type. So which one of those do you enjoy working with? Who can pay you the most? So who can pay a premium? And who has a sense of urgency about getting their problem solved? So a big problem for a lot of business owners is that we're selling to people who just don't have, it's just not that important to them right now. That's usually the biggest issue, is that we are selling to people that it is just not that important to them to get the problem solved right now. That means we need to not mark them off the list, but we don't need to target them. Like, don't spend your time, money, and energy into targeting people and marketing to people who doesn't have a sense of urgency. The second problem is we're targeting people who can't pay you a premium. So a lot of us want to do good work. I was talking to this business owner the other day, and he was asking me for some advice for his business, his cooking business. And he said, I want to feed the homeless. And I'm like, that's great, but why don't you generate enough revenue first in your business so that you can open a nonprofit or a foundation that feeds the homeless, and then you can leverage that to feed the homeless and do the community work, right? Build the business first so that you can effectively do the community work and make an impact. And then it doesn't do any good to find someone who has a sense of urgency and pay a premium, but you don't enjoy working with them. So for me, let me show you how this worked for me. So someone who had a sense of urgency, or someone who I enjoyed working with. So there was a whole bunch of like different people in my first webinar that I was working with, but we were attracting people who could not afford to work with us. And so instead of working from straight newbies, my first program was called From Passion to Profit, and it taught people how to start and launch their business, right? And so instead of just working with anyone who wanted to start a business, I wanted to work with someone who already had a side hustle, right? Because we're not starting all the way from scratch, but also if they recognize it as a side hustle, that means they have a main hustle that is supporting them being able to pay a premium. Well, who can pay a premium that has a side hustle? I like to call them careerpreneurs. So these are people who are in their careers, but they have a business on the side, and they want to grow that business, right? Careerpreneurs. Who has a sense of urgency? People who are sick of their job and they're ready to leave their 9 to 5 for entrepreneurship, right? That very clearly told me who my ideal client was. Does that make sense? So we're going to put 2 minutes on the clock, and I want y'all to do this. I want you to identify, who do you enjoy working with? Who of that can pay you a premium, and who has a sense of urgency for what it is that you do. I'll give you another example. On one of our challenges, Wanda, you probably remember this. We had a lady who did, I think she did tutoring services, right? And so she was like, yeah, but I want to charge a premium, but these families can't afford it. So I helped her kind of iron this out. And I said, all right, you enjoy working with parents. Cool. What type of parent can pay you a premium? Parents who are already investing in private school, or parents who are investing in extracurricular activities, right? Who has a sense of urgency. Parents who are investing in private school and extracurricular activities, but their child is at risk of being held back in education. So that is how we identify our client avatar. We're putting 2 minutes on the clock, and then I want to volunteer. When you participate, you elevate. So y'all get up, come on, get ready. I want to volunteer, and we want to hear who your client avatar is. And when you're ready, just drop a 1 in the chat, and Wanda will bring you up.
All right, so right now you guys are doing just a little bit of live workshop work. We are thinking about our perfect client avatar. Now you might say, well, I already know who I am looking for. Does it match the qualifiers that Coach Nick has given us? 3 qualifiers. First, they got to be a pleasure to work with. You enjoy working with them. 2, they have the ability to pay a premium. And lastly, they have a sense of urgency. Some of you in the beginning agreed that people say, that's an amazing idea you have. Oh, I love what you're doing. And then they never buy. And that right there is the missing ingredient for a lot of business owners. They don't consider who needs this now. Their pain is now. So we got about 45 seconds left. Do you need to tweak your client avatar? Do you need to tweak who we're targeting? Enjoy working with? Can pay a premium, and have a sense of urgency. About 30 seconds left, and then I'll ask someone to come up and share with us who their perfect target audience is. Don't be shy. Remember, you're being streamed across several platforms. So for some of you, this is publicity for your business. This is brand new network. So be brave. We got about 15 seconds left. Okay, who are we bringing up? Which brave business owner are we bringing up? Let me know in the chat. You are able to unmute yourself as well. Come on, Alicia. Come on, Heidi. Colleen.
Yeah, let's go, guys. Come on, when you participate, you elevate. This is a workshop. Should we start calling on people?
I do think so.
Oh, Heidi. Okay, Heidi. Heidi, let's start from the bottom. Who has a sense of urgency?
Oh, what just happened?
Uh-oh.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, I lost my screen though. Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Whew.
Or I'm sorry, let's start from the top. Who do you enjoy working with?
Homeowners.
Homeowners, okay. And which homeowners can pay you a premium?
Which homeowners?
Uh-huh.
Like,
or if you have a different descriptor, that's fine.
I would say professionals or like people that are either entrepreneurs or
Okay. Let's go a different route, if you
high-level
don't mind.
professionals.
Let's give you a different perspective. Tell me, what do you do?
So I'm an architect, so I'm a residential architect, but I'm also finishing up a book, which is where the webinar comes into the things that I do.
Perfect. Okay. So you're an architect, homeowners, homeowners, do they already have the home or do you
Yeah.
the home? Okay, they do have a home. So
Yeah.
homeowners whose homes are valued at between what range?
I would say probably 300,000 and up.
Okay, 300K and up. Right. And the reason that this is important, Heidi, is because for you, now this is going to tell us, well, we need to be looking at what zip codes, right? We need to be looking at what do these people already
True.
invest in for their high valued home, right? So now I think that is going to help you niche and find them better than homeowners who are professionals or business owners, because that could be just anybody. But if now we get very granular, like, no, we want like where are the zip codes and the people that have, almost
Mhm.
half a mil and up, where are they hanging out?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. And then what's the urgency component?
Their urgency is just that their house is creating stress in their life and they're trying to create ease and yeah.
Okay. What's the
They're looking to move because they don't like their home,
okay, so they're looking to move.
potentially, because they're not happy where they are.
hmm So are they considering just remodeling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
So
just,
they
yeah, making improvements to their home.
gotcha. So they are on the brink of moving. But I would say they probably really don't want to, right? Like, I really don't want to move.
Right. The pain. Nobody wants to move.
In exploring or trying to do remodeling on their own.
Yeah.
Okay. DIY. Homeowners who are valued or whose homes are valued at 300K or more and on the brink of moving, but really they're trying to remodel or DIY it on their own. And
Yeah.
one avatar. Does this clear it up, Heidi?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. So another way you could flip this too is Airbnb owners who have luxury Airbnb homes that, again, they're just the investor and they need someone to remodel the house and just take it on, right? That's actually a route I
Right.
probably would explore too, because now we can put them on retainer and we can say, hey, every quarter we'll get into offer creation a little bit, but every quarter we're gonna, refresh your suite of Airbnbs, right?
Mhm.
Cool. Give it up for Heidi, y'all. Give it up for Heidi. Okay.
We also have
Thank you,
Michelle
Coach Nick.
who wanted to come up.
Okay. Go ahead, Michelle.
Heidi, did you have something? I want to make sure we don't
Oh.
skip over what you had.
I
Okay.
was just saying thank you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I hope that was helpful.
It was.
Come on up, Michelle.
Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, great. Hello, guys. So, really short, um, my biggest passion is to help married people stay
Okay.
married.
All right. So that's who you enjoy working with, married couples.
Correct.
Okay. And what type of married couple can pay you a premium?
Preferably people that are business owners and career driven partners or some sort. But
Okay.
most of the time, like they need to be definitely they need to have some kind of business ownership because you have the mindset, oh, you need to be a careerpreneur, like you said.
Okay. What do you do, Michelle?
I've been married for 28 years. So I have come to find out a lot of people get married, they skip to they go up the marriage lane, but they give a divorce real quick over the most, to me, which is the most
Let me just
simplest.
stop you right there, Michelle. Can I stop you?
Okay.
I can coach y'all, right? Do I have permission to coach everybody? Do I have to, or do I have to ask every time?
Yeah, coach
Okay,
me. Let's
great.
go.
You should be able to tell me in 30 seconds what you do. So let me tell you what I do. I'm a business coach that helps entrepreneurs launch, grow, and scale through launch events.
Okay.
So tell me, what do you do?
I'm a I'm an entrepreneur that helps families by helping married people stay married.
Okay. So are you a therapist? Are you a relationship coach?
I would say a relationship coach.
Okay, got it. You're a relationship coach that helps married couples stay married
Correct.
and avoid divorce. Okay, got it. And separation. All right. And you said they need to be business owners and career professionals. Does that really matter? Do you
Well,
just
it
want
doesn't
to work
really
with business
matter.
owners?
It doesn't really matter, but I was answering the question with them people that can afford to pay your premium. And to answer your question before you ask, my premium starts at 2,400 bucks.
Okay, cool. Um, so when I think of, okay, let me just, I think that's good. I think that's good. You could do business owners and career professionals, and I'm for sure that has its own set of issues, right? In
Mhm.
terms that you could even deal with, because
Usually
maybe both of
business
them are
working too much.
like, do these people have children?
Yep.
Okay, and they have families. Um, cool. And I would dive a little bit deeper if we had more time. Like, are they already like investing in stuff like nannies? Um, they're both like on like are they executives in their careers? Um, yeah. So we could go down the rabbit hole, but I think for now this is good. All right. So married couples who are either business owners or career like high level career professionals. And
Mm-hmm.
what's the urgency?
Uh-huh.
What's the urgency of why they need your services?
The urgency for mostly for me so far, there been people that are really not getting along, people that are really kind of at each other's throats, and they need to make a change fast or they won't stay together.
Okay, so they are way past the honeymoon phase, right?
Yep.
Okay, we rocking each other's nerves at this point, right? Are they considering divorce?
Correct.
So at this point, they're exploring their options, right?
Yep.
So now our messaging moves from not just a relationship coach to you are an option for people who are like looking at their last options of how to, and are they looking at options? Oh, let me ask you this. Are they looking at options to exit or to save their marriage?
They kind of in the middle. They really don't think that saving it is an option when they first come in the front door. But after working with me and my husband, our goal is to create them from exiting to let's try to work this out.
Okay. For this purpose, I'd lean into one or the other. I'd lean into either I'm looking how to save my marriage, right? Because that's one search term, or I'm looking up divorce attorneys. Does that make sense?
It does.
And the
But
reason
usually
why, because we're gonna get to the go ahead.
whenever they come to you, always is I want out.
Mm-hmm.
Because they just that tired. People that come to us for as a relationship coach, he's already been cheated with somebody else, or she's already been cheating with somebody else. There's already been infidelity in the marriage. A lot of people, they divorce over financial reasons.
I'm listening.
They start to divorce over financial reasons.
Mm,
He costs too much, either he spends too much, we can't make amends.
yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Y'all give it up for Michelle. Give it up for Michelle. Listen, was this helpful, Michelle? And I would lean into this. You were exactly right. Married couples who are either business owners or career professionals. So now we know that the issue is probably that they're too busy, they're not communicating, um, exploring options to exit their marriage.
Yep.
And they're going to explore you, and it's to save their marriage. All right. So I hope that this is helpful. This is just the start. Now we're going to talk about how do you use this to actually fill the webinar with these people. All right. Cool. All right. So when we're talking about now that we know who our ICA is, which is ideal client avatar that we're targeting, now I want to teach you a marketing strategy that we've used for filling our webinars. We use it to fill this one. Now today's a little light because I just did a speaking event, and I'm going to talk to you about that. I did a speaking event, and I'm like, hey, we're going to host a workshop for the people at this speaking event to teach them what we teach in our 3-day challenge, right? But that's just one way of getting people in your webinar. Now, here is the strategy that I want you to write down. A P R T. Can y'all see my full? Can you see my full screen? My full board, Wanda?
Yes.
Okay. AAPRT. This is the only marketing strategy you need. If you look at every marketing strategy that there is, it typically follows these standpoints, right? The first A stands for awareness. Change colors. The problem that most business owners have is that we post on social media and we're like, I don't understand why people are not buying. We email our email list. I don't understand why people are not taking action, right? And it's because you are not constantly getting attention and awareness of new people for your business. That's the name of the game. You have to generate awareness and constantly generate awareness on a consistent basis to generate sales in your business. Now, here's how you do that. So, how do you? Let me ask you this: what ways are there to generate awareness in the business? Drop it in the chat, or you can come off of mute if you want to come off of mute. What ways can we generate awareness for our business? All right, Alicia said ads, cool. Social media, speaking, okay. What other ways? Storytelling, okay. People think networking, right? People think, going out on the corner and raising a sign, right? No one does that, right, anymore. Um, here are the 3 fastest paths to leads, qualified leads that we have found and launching over, I know I said 50 earlier, but it's actually over 60 businesses, small businesses, in generating leads for their business. Path number 1 is events. Okay. And we're not talking about networking events. Everybody say networking is slow, right? Networking is slow. When we say events, you are either positioned as a speaker, I think Heidi said it earlier, or a vendor. Why is it important that you're positioned as one of these 2 at events? Well, because you're already an authority and you already get all the attention on you at one point, or you get attention on you at one point. And people know when they visit your table in the back of the room that you're there, you have an offer for someone's problem, right? When you're speaking, you're an authority on stage. And when people come up to you and you're talking about your expertise or what it is that you do, you're plugging your business. Now people know you have something to offer. When you have a vendor table, people walk up to your table. They know you have something to offer. When you're networking, you may have something to offer, but they're not networking for you for that. We're just building connection, right? These are very intentional ways to leverage events. And we don't want to just go to any events. We want to go to events where our ideal client is already hanging out. Now, for me, I'd rather go to events you either have to pay to be a part of, or you're a member of like an organization, you pay some sort of annual fee, and you attend the event that way. Because people demonstrate their habits by demonstrating their habits, right? So if you're paying to get in the event, you have the resources to pay for what you deem is valuable. I did a 2-minute talk and got 30 leads for my webinar. I did a 10-minute talk and got 40 leads for my webinar at another event. Again, you don't need long, and these are virtual. You don't need long, right? All right, so events is path number 1. Path number 2 is partnerships. Everybody write partnerships in the chat. So we want to partner with organizations, groups, influencers that our ideal client is already following or already in their network, their zone of network, to position our brand in front of their eyes. So for those of you who did VIP, you got my training on how I generated over $11,000 from one 90-minute presentation, and it was no ads, no huge following, no none of that. It was because we leveraged partnerships. We had 3 people who had my ideal client in front of them. One was a nonprofit strategist. Another was she was just kind of like a entrepreneur, not an entrepreneur influencer. She was just like an influencer. And then another one was I think she was in financing. She was an accountant. Right? We leveraged the partnerships to fill our webinar, right? Because we knew that they already had qualified leads, and that's how we filled our webinar, and we made an offer at the end, and that's how we generated over $11,000, right? Partnerships is one of the most powerful ways you can leverage other people's audiences to fill your webinar and attract quality leads. Y'all getting value out of this? Just give me a wave if this is valuable. Okay. The last path is digital advertising. And somebody said this earlier. Digital ads. We pay Facebook, we pay LinkedIn, we pay YouTube, we pay social media to place our brand in front of our audience and attract them to our webinar, right? Attract them as leads. Now, you don't want to just jump out there. You don't want to just jump out there to do digital advertising. You need to understand your targeting, need to understand how it all works. So for those of you, again, at the end of this, we are going to invite you to our boot camp, which we're opening, which we're opening the second cohort for in September, where we help you launch your webinar, and we actually have a digital ads expert who will help you set up your ad campaign, right? So you want to work with the expert, but digital ads is a fast way to attract quality leads, all right? Awareness. This is the very first step in the marketing strategy to fill your webinar. The second step is announcement. This is very simple. All announcement is your invitation, right? And when we say invitation, I mean a landing page. So here's the reason why you want a landing page. The most important information you can get from your leads or your prospects is a name, phone number, and email. All right. So you have them opt in. You invite you go. So let's say you're at an event and you're speaking. Your free gift is your webinar, right? So we're gonna give them a QR code or some mechanism that they can click a link and join your webinar. You have a partnership, you're gonna say, hey, I want to come speak at your next meetup. You're going to invite them to the webinar, or that partner is going to invite people on their email list to your webinar. You're going to run a digital ad. They're going to click, yes, I want to learn more. And it's going to take them to a landing page or announcement page to opt in for your webinar. Most important information you can get: name, phone number, and email. All right. The P stands for promo. Now, this is not just like promoting your webinar, but really what this means is incentivize. Okay? Incentivize. You have to incentivize people at every stage of the journey. Y'all, we have the attention span of a goldfish these days. Y'all ever heard of that? There, we have the attention span of a goldfish. People don't move unless you give them reason to. So we have to think about every step of the journey. What's the incentive for them to opt in, right? Which can be, in this webinar, you are going to learn how to bounce back from your marriage being on the brakes of divorce, right? Incentivize. When you get on here, when you stay until the end, right? Because we got to incentivize them to stay. You're going to get this free gift, my free checklist of how to renovate your home to make it look like $1 million. All right. And then we want to think about our incentives as far as our bonuses for our offer, right? So if you take advantage of our offer today, you get this incentive, this bonus. So you want to strategically think at every stage of the journey, how are you incentivizing your audience to take the next step, to take action? Is this making sense? Let me know, make sense in the chat if this is making sense. All right. Cool. The R in the method stands for remind. Like I said, we have the attention span of a goldfish. How many of you would have not been on this call if we didn't send you 1,000,001 emails and text messages? Right? You have to remind, and you can't be afraid. There are going to be people who are like, okay, I'm done with the emails. That's fine. That's not the majority, I promise you. The majority of people need the email. The majority of people need the phone call reminder. The majority of people need the text message reminder. We have a very specific sequence that, again, I'm going to cover the boot camp at the end of the call. But if you join the boot camp, we literally hand you this sequence that gets us anywhere from 30 to 40% show up rates, which are great when it comes to webinars, comes to virtual events. It's a very specific sequence. We know that it works. Don't mess with it. Don't change it. Just implement it. And you will see 30 to 40% of people show up, because we know that people need a reminder sequence, right? So you're reminding. The T stands for thank. All right. And when we say thank, what we really mean is follow up. All right. You are thanking 3 people. Does anyone know the 3 people that you're really thanking from your webinar? The 3 types of people? Anyone know? No? Anyone wants to take a wild guess? Come on, business owners, wake up. Take a risk. That's what business is, right? You're thanking 3 people. You're thanking the people who bought, so buyers. All right. We want to make sure that we give them the thing that the one who bought. Yes. Okay. Come on, friend. We want to give them the people we want to give them what it is that they bought, but we also want to take that as an opportunity to say, hey, do you want this next thing? Right? So a lot of times, like when you go up to the counter, you already have things in your buggy. The reason why they have like the gum and the chips and the stuff that's up there at the counter, or the reason that they have the cashier say, hey, did you want to add whatever to your order today, is because it is proven that the best time to ask someone to buy is right after they bought from you the first time. All right. Fran, I feel like you've been in here before. So the buyers, okay? The second person are the people who showed up, but they did not buy, DMB. So we want to reposition the offer in front of them again. We want to make sure we have a follow-up sequence. Oh yeah, Fran's been here before. We want to make sure that we have a follow-up sequence in place that gives them another opportunity to buy or to buy something else or to downsell, right? Just depending on what it is that you offer. But you need to think through, for the people who show up and did not buy, what are the next steps for them, right? And then the last person that you are thanking are the people who no-showed, are no-shows. So what we're usually following up with them about is, hey, watch the replay and book a call. Or depending on, what you want to do, hey, watch the replay, but also here's the offer that we made during the event, right? This is where the bulk of your sales will happen, right? When you follow up, we have a very specific follow-up process. We have SOPs based on what action people take is how we follow up. There are some people who converted this week who's been in my funnel for years. I had a lady who joined one of my programs, and I thought that she had just discovered me, but she was like, I remember when you first came on the scene, my friend shared your profile with me, and I followed you, and I've been watching you like evolve your brand over time. And I'm like, dang, you've been with me since 2020? Wow. Right? And so that just goes to show you that, but she would have never converted had I not have nurture sequences in place. All right. This is the method. AAPRT, awareness. How are you getting in front of your audience, your ideal client avatars, where they're already hanging out? You don't have to figure it out. They're already congregating. Announcement. How are we getting them into our world and inviting them to our webinar, our virtual event? Promo, how are we incentivizing them at each stage in the journey? Remind, do we have a strategic sequence in place to get them to our event? And then thank, how are we following up with people who bought, people who did not buy, and people who no-showed? If you follow this process, you will never have a problem filling your webinar. I don't care if it's just 10 people on the webinar or 10,000 people on the webinar. This is the process to follow to implement. The next step we're going to talk about is how to deliver content that attracts, convicts, and converts. But what I would love to do is get a couple of you to just come up and tell us your takeaways from lesson number 1 before we move on to lesson number 2. Wanda, I'll let you take it away.
I love it. Thank you, Coach Nick. So I take notes too, you guys. If you see me like going back and forth between screens, I've been here before, but every time I swear there's a little more seasoning, a little bit more information that Coach gives. So just to kind of recap the 2 major lessons that you have in your notepad right now, it's identifying your client avatar and using the apart method. So I just want to hear someone give us some takeaways, like what's highlighted on your paper, what's circled, what did you write in bold 2 or 3 times? Feel free to unmute yourself. Tell us so far what has stuck out to you. What is the nugget that you've gotten? You should be able to unmute yourself, but if not, raise your hand. I can see you, or hit me in the chat. I can see you and I can unmute you.
Yes, please, let's do it. What takeaways do we have? Come on, folks.
I'm going to unmute a couple of our volunteers from earlier. Heidi, I know we talked about your business as an architect, targeting the right person. Colleen, I'll unmute you.
Oh, okay.
You should be able to mute yourself. Let me make sure that you can.
You can turn it off.
There you go.
I'm unmuted now.
There we go. Everyone should be able to unmute yourself. Thank you, Colleen. What takeaway do you have?
You're welcome. So first of all, this has been great, and I really appreciate the time and space. But what I realized is that I need to really focus on my nurture follow-up sequence. That's something that I have circled here. So I think like he said, most of it is going to happen in the follow-up, and I didn't realize that. So I've done follow-up before and I've had results, but it's nothing that I do consistently because I'll get discouraged if it doesn't happen on the webinar. So the follow-up, I don't like to feel like I am getting on people's nerves, or like, if my open rate is low, then I get discouraged again. And so it's not a consistent thing, because what I found is that rejection is a big part of entrepreneurship, and you got to really grow in that. And so for me, I'm growing
Say
in
that again. Say that again, please.
which part? I was
Rejection.
flowing.
Rejection
Yeah,
is a part of it.
it is. It truly is. And it's
Girl, you
something
said
that
that.
you have to grow through, and know that it's not a personal thing. It's just an opportunity to grow. And that's why I love taking these classes and investing, and finding out my areas of opportunity. And that's one thing. So the follow-up, I think, is something that's really stood out for me to be consistent with.
Yes. Listen, you have to get through the no's to get to the yes. The no's are a part of rejection is a part of the process, y'all. It's a part of the process. It's about what you do with it. And if you keep going, let's go. Who was that?
I love that.
Who was that again? Was that Michelle?
Colleen.
Helene. Thank you for being here, Helene.
Love
Yes,
it.
next.
Alicia, you said you had a takeaway. Go ahead. And iPhone, I see you. You should be able to unmute yourself, guys. Feel free to unmute yourself.
Yes, I really like the part about the incentive, giving the people who attend, like giving them incentive. And because I know, like when I do webinars, a lot of time they drop off when you're doing the sales pitch. So that is something I'm going to incorporate, having an incentive for those who stay all the way to the end.
Yes,
Bible.
absolutely. Gotta incentivize.
Good. I love that. Let's see. Who else did we have? iPhone, you are unmuted.
Hello. My biggest takeaway is getting on other people platforms when you're talking to, even I invest in a lot of personal development, and you sort of follow those same people because you build a relationship. But I see the same people in the room, everything that they give. So it's very important to get in other rooms even after you have finished the program. I stay in those rooms, the same people saying the same things. And the other thing is, I love when you say, like, I'm passionate about women that are running a business and have children, because I was single parent when I built my first $1 million empire. And I want to give to them. A lot of them don't have monies to pay me. So I like when you say, like, you want to give to the homeless, is create a path to give to them, but they can't be the first because they don't have the money to pay me. So thank you for that.
Yes. I don't know if y'all know who Lisa Nichols is, but there's an interview she did, and she was talking about how it's just everybody was pulling on her as she was trying to on the come up, right? And she was like, she had to let everybody go because I gotta go save me first so I could come back and save you. But if both of us
Yes.
are drowning, we can't save each other if we both don't know how to swim. Let me go learn how to swim, and then I'll come back and get you. Wear this life jacket for a second.
Yes, and it's something you said that because I just graduated from Lisa's CTTP class, and I'm meeting her in Mexico next month. We're doing a retreat next month in Mexico.
Good. Good for you. Good.
Yes,
I love Lisa.
I
And
do too.
before we move on, I do not want to keep calling you iPhone. May I have your name so I could properly?
Mary Evans, and I'm gonna fix that too.
Mary
I
Evans.
just bought this iPhone, so y'all know I'm struggling. I was an Android user, and I got tired of all the speakers at the event talking they can't bing my phone, so I'm struggling trying to learn this iPhone. But
You're
thank
doing
you so
great.
much.
You're doing
Thank you.
amazing, Mary.
Thank you.
I also want to read Rosemary's input in the chat. She said, finding high quality leads and following up. I do a lot of follow up. Guys, the gold is in the follow up. Very few people throw their credit card at you as soon as you finish pitching. So this is awesome. Coach, I'm gonna give it back to you.
Cool. All right, y'all. Y'all ready to keep going? Or y'all had enough? Let me know. Y'all ready to keep going? Say keep going in the chat, or put go in the chat if you're ready to keep going. I got y'all locked in. We said 1 day workshop. Okay? 1 day. Just a couple of hours. All right, cool. Thank you. All right, so we talked about, did you learn how to fill your webinar? Type yes in the chat. Did you learn how to fill your webinar? All right. I promise you, this is how we do all of our events. This is how our clients do events. And what's getting them amazing result. All right. So we could put a big check by Phil. All right. So now let's talk about delivering content that attracts, convicts, and converts. But we're actually going to flip this and work our way backwards, because before we do anything, this is the most important step, most important part to make sure that your content does what it needs to do. You need to understand first of all, you need to understand where your client's point A is, which is in pain, right? What we want to get out of, why it's so urgent, right? And then you need to understand how to communicate their point B, which is where they want to be. But you also need to understand what roadblocks do they believe they have in place that's keeping them from getting to this point B. All right. This is important because when we talk about transformation versus information, the transformation happens when you remove these roadblocks. The conversion the conversion takes place when you can effectively communicate how you remove the roadblocks from getting them out of hell into getting them into heaven. All right, where they want to be. Your solution has to do a couple of things. Number one, it has to show me how can I save. So again, when we talk about roadblocks, how can I save time, energy, and or money getting to point B, right? You have to make sure that it shows that this is the vehicle, all right? The vehicle, my poor drawing of a car, okay, of getting them over these roadblocks, right? So how does it save me time, energy, and or money? That's what you need to be thinking of. And then you need to show 80% of results and benefits focus and 20% of process and system. Now, the reason why you want to do that in your webinar is because when you are selling, no one really wants process. We don't want 101 coaching calls and 51 lessons and all of this stuff. How can you help me get out of pain quick, fast, and in a hurry? Right? So I see a question in the chat. At what point are you even ready for a webinar? When you can, after you get done with this class here and you work through this, you're ready for a webinar, right? So again, you have to understand their point A, point B, and the roadblocks that they believe that are keeping them back from getting there. The roadblocks can be misconceptions. It could be limiting beliefs. So a lot of my clients, their roadblocks are, I think I need capital in order to start my business. And I'm like, well, you need to learn how to make sales so you can qualify for some capital. Because here's the thing, everybody's out here like, oh, I can get you six figures in credit, but if you don't know how to generate sales, how are you going to pay this credit back? How are you going to pay this loan back, right? So that's a roadblock that I eliminate in my webinar. Another one is that they can't come out of the gate charging a premium for their products and services. So I show them how to charge a premium. I'm going to show you all how to charge a high premium as well for yours, but that's a roadblock that I have to eliminate, right? So this is the very first piece of what you have to understand. Now, when it comes to creating an irresistible premium offer, and again, like we said, we're working backwards, right? Because everything leads to your offer. Listen, I understand we can go 1,000,001 ways in our webinars and in our trainings, but when you are doing a training or a webinar or a one day or whatever, that is for the purpose of marketing and selling, it needs to lead to your offer, right? Or otherwise it's not going to convert and it's going to disconnect. So I want to teach you how to create an irresistible offer. And go ahead and let me get a volunteer because in our boot camp, again, I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. We have custom GPTs that will help you with all of this. And I want to use somebody as an example to turn their offer from bland to bam. Okay. So when we talk about an irresistible offer, everything starts from your offer. And you need to understand the way that we create offers. Step one is to model. So a lot of people feel like my market's oversaturated. Um, but what I need you to know is that there's nothing new under the sun, y'all. If you feel like your market's oversaturated, that means one thing and one thing only, that the market is hot and people are buying, right? If you see multiple people, now a lot of people are starting to get into AI and teaching people how to do AI. That's because the market is hot and it's buying, right? So instead of focusing on your market being too saturated, I want you to model what's already working. So the way that we do that and the way that we train you in the boot camp is that we have you research your competitors and we want you to think of a couple of things. One, what is missing in the market, right? So a lot of people that join our boot camp says the thing that's missing is the actual system. Like people teach theory and they tell you what to do, but they don't give you the system to actually implement, right? You also want to know, what are they doing well, right? What do our competitors do well that people really like about, right? You want to know, what do they not do well? What are people pissed off at? A lot of people also wonder, what do a lot of people tell us in our boot camp about when they join? Oh, we joined these other programs and
They left us without information. I don't know who to talk to help me. I made my payment and now they're not responsive. I'm not getting results and they don't care.
people say, we wish we would have found this before we joined that.
Yeah, I wish I would have paid for
We
this.
would have found this before we joined, right?
And it's way, they always say they can't believe what you're selling it for.
Yeah, absolutely. So you need to figure out what's missing, what are they doing well, what are they not doing well, and then you need to figure out how your offer fills the gaps and let that be the identifier of what makes you different, right? So a lot of people are like, how do I stand out in the market? That's how you stand out in the market. This is what makes us different because we've done the research, right? So once you find what's working, now step two is to customize. So again, when you customize, what's also going to help you stand out is make sure that your solution is postured in a framework, in a formula, in a strategy, in a method, right? So you want to have a specific mechanism that this is how we help. And I see Heidi. This is how we help homeowners turn their home that from dull to having $1 million makeover. Right? So again, like, what is your frame by using the $1 million makeover framework, right? Or whatever you want to call it. So once we create a framework, then we want to name it, right? I should probably be writing this out. So when we customize, we want to create a mechanism, a unique mechanism. Then you want to name it. But when you name it, don't name it something like, people don't want a vitamin. Anybody ever had like a broken limb or needed to go to the hospital? Like maybe you broke your foot and you get to the hospital and they say, you know what, Colleen, I'm gonna prescribe you vitamin C. After you slap the doctor, you want him to give you a painkiller, right? So when we say painkiller, so again, I could have named my program like startup boot camp, but the name of my program was From Passion to Profit, the blueprint to successfully launch your business in 90 days or less. Right? Webinar selling system, the system to consistently generate high quality leads and make sales on autopilot. right? So again, what's your framework? What are you going to name it? How is it going to be a painkiller versus a vitamin? And you should be thinking about that in every aspect of your marketing. Anytime you put something out to the world, think, am I giving people a vitamin or am I giving people a painkiller? All right, when we talk about customize, you also need to think about your structure and support. You know, what is the structure and support system to help them get the result? And how do we effectively communicate that? And then pricing. Pricing. So when you are pricing anything, the price has to be, or I'm sorry, the perceived value, PV, the perceived value has to be greater than the price. So if you want to sell something for 10,000, the result needs to be worth more than $10,000. If you want to sell something for 20,000, the result needs to be more than $20,000. So my one-on-one packages start at $36,000, right? For Chief Strategy Officer services. Because the goal is for you to make at least 2 to 4x or more of that back after we work together, right? The price has to the value has to outweigh the price. Is this making sense? All right, somebody said, okay. All right, cool. All right, so step 1 is to model. Step 2 is to customize. Step 3 is to enhance. So it's not that it's not that you have to charge low in the market. I want you to charge a premium. And here's how. So when we're enhancing offers, we have to enhance your offer in a way that your customer perceives it as valuable. Let me tell you what they don't perceive as valuable. We're going to give you 1,000,001 ebooks as a bonus when you join today. Let me tell you what they don't see as valuable. You know what? We're gonna do coaching calls for 2 years and walk with you for 2 years, right? You can work with them for 2 years. Nobody wants an offer that they're stuck with you for 2 years, right? Actually, high ticket buyers will pay you more if you can help me get the result in less time. Does that make sense? So when we're enhancing an offer, here are the 3 E's of premium offers that we use to enhance our offers. This is taking my offers from me charging $500 when I first started to, like I said, charging $36,000 for one-on-one services. This is what took Share from selling books for $27 to generating recurring revenue in her business of $14,000 a month in just 3 months. This is how we did it. So I'm gonna can y'all see down here? Okay. So the first way to enhance your offer is experiences. All right, experiences. So how can you add an experience element to your offer? Could you add some sort of event? So for the webinar selling system bootcamp, we add an in-person implementation workshop where you come in person. We take you to a studio to do content day, to film your ads, to do a brand photo shoot. You come work alongside me and my team to actually implement what it is that we're teaching you, and you get to come in person, right? Another experience, a part of our boot camp, is that you get a ticket to our our annual mansion mastermind, where you come and you do your annual planning for your business, right? So again, these are experiences to enhance your offer. What experience can you implement to enhance your offer? I guarantee you can charge even more than whatever you're charging now just by adding that alone. The second E stands for experts. Right? Experts. What other adjacent areas does your customer need in order to support getting the results? Right? Or what brands can you partner with to add value? So, for the lady who is a relationship coach for marriage owners, I don't know if you're a licensed therapist, but can you partner with a therapist to also add some sessions, to give them that ownership, right? Can you when we talk about experiences, can you create a retreat, a couples retreat, specifically for this and add it to your offer? Now you can charge even more, right? Adding experts for, let's see, who do we add an expert for? For our offer, we have a certified digital ads expert that helps you launch your ads so that you have somebody that knows what they're doing helping you with your ads, right? So again, how can you add an expert to your offer to increase the value, to increase your price? The last E is execution. Execution. How can you make implementing easy or for them to do or to do it for them? So in our boot camp, the execution is the templates we give you the PowerPoint, we give you the funnels, but also on your very first webinar, we give you an admin. Who would want to, if you're doing a webinar, who would love a Wanda on their webinar to welcome their guests to the room, hype them up, and drop the link, not have to worry about if the recording's continuing or not. Like, who'd love a Wanda? So when you join the boot camp, which I'll talk about in a little bit, you get one of my team members to be on your call with you to help you with your webinar, right? What execution are you doing? Heidi, you're doing all the execution for them, right? So it's like, hey, you can either do this on your own, right? And that's this price, or I could do everything. Me and my team could take this off of your hands and do everything for you, which is this price, a premium, right? Everyone needs a Wanda. Yes. These are the 3 E's to enhance your offer. I don't care what anybody says. No one wants to put a yes in the chat if just one of these are better than me telling you you get an ebook or you get an extra coaching call or you get an extra course to add value to the offer, right? Add these to your offers and you definitely can charge more. This is where it starts, folks. It starts with your offer. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I need a volunteer. And we are going to revamp your offer in like 30 seconds. Who'd like to volunteer? Anybody?
Colleen says
Colleen.
me.
Okay. Let's let Colleen come up. So for those of you, again, in a little while, we'll tell you more about the boot camp and how you can join and how we can help you implement all of this and support you in being successful at webinars. But a part of being in the boot camp, you get access to 3 custom GPTs that we paid a builder to actually build specifically with our frameworks. Everything that I just taught you, literally, we have it done here because who doesn't want to use AI? Again, we said earlier, I just want to help people with their relationships. I just want to help people remodel their homes. I just want to help people build their business. I'm not a marketer. I don't want to have to do any work that I don't have to do, right? So we have Christy, the copywriter, which is your go-to launch sales copy expert. So Christy writes all of your sales copy, all of your landing page copy, all of that stuff, right? Stevie, the sales coach, literally you can practice your sales calls with Stevie. For those of you who stay till the end, I'm also going to bring up another person, another volunteer, and we're going to practice your sales call. And you're going to be the customer, and Stevie's going to be the salesman. You're going to see in live time how it helps you practice that. And then Sammy, the strategist, is your go-to trained strategist to help you research, plan, and crush your next webinar. So what we are going to do is we're going to go to Christy. And we're going to ask Christy or actually, is it Christy or is it Sammy? Let me see. GPTs. I think it's, okay, here we go. Yep. So it's actually Sammy, the strategist, that will help you build your premium offer. All right. So we're going to ask Sammy, help me create my irresistible offer for my audience. All right. So who's volunteering? Can you pin them for me, Wanda? or spotlight them for me?
They don't have their camera on, so it's not letting me do that, but
Oh,
let's
you
see.
gotta,
Yeah, I'm
you
I'm
gotta,
here. I'm
okay.
here. I just don't have my camera on.
Are you able to turn your camera on?
Uh,
Come on.
I mean, I don't think we have time for me to put my eyebrows on. No, give me 1 second.
Okay.
All
In
right,
the
hold
mean,
on.
in the meantime, I'm gonna ask you these questions so we can keep it moving. What result or transformation does your audience want the most?
Can you see me?
Yes, and you look beautiful.
Okay. All right.
Oh, what are you talking about, Colleen?
I had to put my head down. But so what they want the most is the tools and information to help their loved ones who have a mental health condition. On the advocacy side and then the coaching side, they want to be able to turn that passion into income. So the passion to help people.
Okay, hold on. Which one do we want? Let's focus on one of them.
All right, the advocacy side of things. Well, we can focus on the coaching side of things since it's
Yeah.
for
Okay.
income.
All right. Tell me again, what's the result or transformation they want?
To be able to monetize their passion to help their families, loved ones, and community with their mental health challenges.
Oh, challenges. Right. So remind me of back in my hotel days. Okay. All right, cool. And what is your expertise or method for helping them get that result?
Well, we have different pathways and GHU where they get certified to become a mental health coach. So I guess I don't even know how to answer that because we don't have specifically a
Okay.
framework. It's just modules that they go through.
Okay.
And then the end of the program, they have to present their mental health initiative to get their certification.
Okay. So here's what we're gonna do, right? We certify um students to become mental health coaches.
It's usually aspiring entrepreneurs
Okay.
uh, or people who are already entrepreneurs. But yeah.
All right. And I would say need a name for my framework.
Okay.
All right. Now, who is the target audience? We just said that aspiring entrepreneurs.
And it's usually people who have had their own bout, who've had their own struggle and victory with mental health as well.
Or who mental health has impacted them
Mm-hmm.
some way.
Yep.
Who are you or what are you currently thinking of including in your offer?
As far as like the experiences and things like that.
Yep. So
Um,
you said you have a course, right?
yeah, so we have an annual mental health gala, so I can give them a ticket to the annual gala or gala. Um, I do have some partnerships with therapists. They are some of our instructors, so maybe I can partner with them for sessions. That was a really good
So
one.
so I mean, you could partner with them. Probably, it would probably be if you're talking about people who want to get in this industry, they probably don't need, I don't know that they would see the value in getting the sessions, but they probably would get the value in shadowing the sessions.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? So,
okay.
um, access to our therapist network for
Mhm.
internship opportunity.
Okay.
Internship, like, does that make sense?
Yes, and they can also have an opportunity to be an instructor in the university.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you what to do with that. I'm
Okay.
not gonna put that in this offer, but I'm gonna
Okay.
tell you what to do with that. Okay. So access to mental health gala, and then what's the core piece of the offer? So you said courses, training. Is there any coaching calls or anything like that? Any live support?
So yeah, so they get the certification at the end, but we have something called Wednesday Night Live where GHU students, alum, we all come together and share. And there is on the spot coaching, there's storytelling and sharing. There's also role playing and things like that.
Okay. And you said that's Wednesdays?
It's usually on Wednesday. Yeah, it is
Okay, so
Wednesdays. Yeah,
weekly live um live calls, right? Support call.
correct. Mm-hmm.
Anything else included with this?
I think that's good.
Okay. Um, what price are you thinking of charging and why?
So for usually we charge 9.97 for both for the advocacy and the coaching, but if we're just talking about the coaching, I don't know, 5.97 because I
597?
usually do it together. Usually they have to do advocacy before they do coaching, but
$597?
yes,
Okay. And you want to charge more, right?
yes.
Okay. Want to charge more. I was writing that before you even said it. To charge more. And the 597 is for how long?
So it's usually a 4-week program, if we do it in a cohort, but they do have the option to do self-study.
Program or self-study option. Okay. All right. You ready to work some magic,
Yeah.
Colleen?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let me sit
Yeah, we
up.
gotta um, let's see. Transform my offer.
Transform my offer.
Let's go. Colleen's fun. Thank you. Thank you for being fun, Colleen. Okay. All right, so I'm going to read this, and this is how we transform that. Let's turn this premium certification program that positions your students as sought after mental health coaches with the credibility, tools, and community to create real impact and earn real income. But first, here's tough love. See, this is in Coach Nick's voice, so it's gonna give you some coaching. 597 is way underpriced for certification, live support, real world experience, and event access. If
Mm,
delivers transformation, we're going to raise the value, raise the price, and raise the positioning. Oh, that's good.
yeah, that's good.
So, your premium offer outline, your offer title, the Certified Mental Health Coach Blueprint TM, a 90-day path to turn your passion into a profession and get paid to change lives.
Can I screenshot this?
I'm going to send it to you.
Oh,
A step-by-step certification program designed for purpose-driven individuals who have impacted by mental health, who have been impacted by mental health and want to become credible, confident, and income-earning mental health coaches through
mm,
powerful training, expert mentorship, real-world experiences, and a vibrant community. You'll graduate ready to build your coaching practice, attract clients, and lead with impact.
I love
What you feel
it.
so far? Good, right?
I got all the feels. Like it's amazing.
Team, let us know in the chat what y'all think. Is this turning it from bland to what to bam? Okay.
Yes.
Core program components, strategic painkiller. Remember earlier I was saying like everything
Mm-hmm.
when you name things, it needs to be a painkiller versus a vitamin. So
Mm-hmm.
this is what it did. So instead of just a course curriculum, the Impact Coach Curriculum TM, self-paced or 4-week intensive core modules teaching the fundamentals of mental health coaching from trauma-informed support to ethical boundaries and communication techniques. Live implementation labs, weekly support calls for Q&A, live practice and mentorship so you never get stuck and you're always progressing. Excuse me. The internship immersion, real world experience through our therapist network, shadowing and assisting certified professionals for hands-on learning and credibility. The purpose driven coach community, a
Mm,
private support circle of alumni and aspiring coaches just like you, sharing wins, referrals, and momentum.
mm.
The Legacy Gala Access, exclusive invite to our annual mental health gala. Celebrate your successes, network with professionals, and get inspired by industry leaders. And then here are some bonuses. The client attraction toolkit. Do y'all see how these are
Yes.
pillars and not vitamins? Again, like we're not just giving you a checklist. No, we're giving you the client attraction toolkit, everything you need to get your first paying client, templates, scripts, and sample content, coach legal starter pack, contracts, disclaimers, and must have policies for ethical coaching and liability protection, the confidence booster mini course for students worried they're not ready, mindset and skill practice for self-belief and authority. Pricing structure, standard certification is $14.97, includes all the core trainings, community support, and gala access. VIP accelerator is $19.97. All of the above, plus 2 private coaching calls, lifetime access, featured. I wouldn't recommend lifetime access. We'll talk about
Mhm.
that later. I recommend you give them a certain limit and then you turn it into continuity. But this is a good foundation, right?
Yes.
Self-paced, self-study, only option $6.97 for budget-conscious learners with no live support or community. These price points reflect the real value and attract committed, ready to invest students. They also fund your team, systems, and event overhead. What do you think?
I'm blown away.
Right? Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Okay, give me your takeaways, and I'm gonna put this in a document and have Wanda send it over for you.
Thank you. Um, I- it's so many. I didn't even think of the way that it like put the bonuses together. That's really cool. The 14.97 all by itself is just it blew my mind that even a system is like, no, you need to be charging more. It is a lot of value in this. So just having that reiteration that what I have is valuable, and then to see it all laid out like that, and the VIP accelerator, and just the range of things that's possible.
Yes, let's go. Awesome. All right, y'all, give Colleen a hand. Thank you so much, Colleen, for being
Thank
here and
you.
coming on camera.
No
Listen,
problem.
wasn't that mind blowing? So literally, again, everything starts with the offer, and then we're gonna get into the convict and convert piece. But do y'all see how like that offer alone will give you confidence and it's like, okay, now I know what my webinar needs to be about. Now I know what my messaging needs to be about. Give me a yes in the chat. All right. So, we have more left. I am going to go over the attraction formula, and then I am also going to go over or wrap this up with convert, because again, that's the last piece, right? How do we convert and move people into taking action? But before I finish out, have y'all gotten value so far? Has everybody gotten value? Let me know yes in the chat if you've gotten value. Got a yes from Heidi. I got a yes from Colleen. Have you guys learned something so far that you feel if you implement, you know that this will change the trajectory of your business? How many of you know, like, I need to implement this? Type yes in the chat. Okay. So like I said, at the end, we're gonna open doors for our boot camp. But for those of you who are ready now, do y'all mind if I take you a few minutes? I just showed you the GPTs, which is a part of the boot camp. Would you mind if I go ahead and open doors a little bit early, show you what the boot camp's about? We can get that out of the way, and then we can get back to the content. Is that cool? I got a yes, a sure from Colleen. Is that good with everybody else? Okay, cool. So give me a second. I am going to transition here. And again, don't forget when you stay until the end, we still have another GPT left where we're going to actually practice the sales call live. So for those of you who are like, "Oh, what do I say on a sales call?" You're going to be the customer. I'm going to show you live what to do. All right, so I'm excited to introduce to y'all the Webinar Selling System Bootcamp. This is a 90-day intensive designed to help you build, launch, and automate a high-converting webinar funnel so you can attract qualified leads and generate consistent, repeatable sales without burning out or guessing what to do next. Who this is for? It's for coaches, consultants, service providers with a premium offer, or you're just like Colleen and you're open to Coach Nick helping you build a premium offer. E-commerce sellers, if you're launching a subscription or high ticket product, the reason we say that is because honestly, for all this work, go high ticket. Just go premium. I can show you how to do it, but you got to be open to doing that. And even if you sell products, you can do that at a premium, or do a subscription, which is the premium. Or career professionals looking to pivot into entrepreneurship via digital services, services or digital products. The timeline's off because this was for our first cohort that we did, our founding cohort. So I'll just give y'all an update. So here's basically an overview of what the boot camp entails. So y'all have an opportunity to join today. We start September 1st, but you're going to go ahead and get access to some fundamental trainings. So we want to go ahead and train you on how to create your premium offer. We want you to get your program together because September 1, we're hitting the ground running, and our goal is to launch into this 30-day sprint where we are giving you everything you need to build out your webinar funnel or your webinar system, right? So September 1st, we start the sprint. Again, it's 30 days, head down and building this stuff out, teaching you the fundamentals to get this up and running. In October, we are hosting a VIP in-person VIP launch weekend. So you come to Atlanta, to my Midtown office. We host a VIP day, or we host a content day. We do some training. I do a little bit of motivating, but it is an implementation weekend. The goal is for you to walk out of that weekend with all that you have to do is once we have your videos edited, plug it into the landing pages and open doors for your webinar. All right. After VIP weekend, this is when you launch your marketing campaign. So again, I'm going to show you in detail how to use the apart strategy to fill your webinar and to generate sales. And then you're going to have run through week. How many of you would love to just practice the webinar, practice the thing before you do it live? So you're actually going to do a run through. Your admin that you'll be assigned is going to be on that run through with you. We're going to invite our community. You're going to practice it. I'll be there to give you I do try to be at all of them to give you live feedback and coaching so that when you get ready to do it live, it's not the first time you're doing it. Okay. And then you execute and optimize. The goal is for you to do your webinar if you either weekly or bi-weekly until you hit your revenue goal. Now, when you join, here's some of the nuts and bolts that you're getting. So you're getting the unlimited lead strategy. So y'all remember earlier in the call when I showed you the 3 fast paths to leads, whether you're going to events and speaking or vending, or you're leveraging partnerships, or you are doing digital advertising. So again, we have trainings for each of those and supports for each of those, right? So we're going to help you set your goals. We're going to help you understand what goals you need to set to hit your revenue goals. And then we're going to help you implement so you can start filling your webinar. This is a $2,000 value, teaching you how to get unlimited leads. All right, you're going to get access to the content that attracts, convicts, and converts workshop or training. So you're going to know exactly what to say in your messaging in your webinar, how to present your content in a way that attracts, convicts, and converts your audience into paying clients and customers. It's a $1,500 value. You're going to get premium offer suite training. So if y'all think that was something, you really don't even need training because now we have the GPT. So we really want to remind me, we probably should just replace this with the GPT, but we're still going to train you on what goes in a premium offer and how to sell it. So it's not just, one thing to be able to say it and read it, but how do you communicate it in a way where it resonates? So you're going to get the step-by-step blueprint to package your products and services into an irresistible, high-ticket premium offer that sells. This is a $10,000 value. And then you're going to have access to the profit from launch predictable sales strategy. All right. So this is where you're never going to have to guess your sales game again. You're going to get training in strategy that you need to be profitable out of the gate and hit your revenue goals. So a lot of what we do in the latter part of the boot camp is looking at your numbers and helping you close those sales. Then again, like I said, you get the launch in a weekend, VIP weekend. This is a big co-working session. It's a content day, so you get professional video and photography content to promote your webinar. You actually practice your pitch and do networking. It's a $5,000 value. tech and coaching support. We have weekly. So here's the support schedule, especially for the first 30 days, because again, like it's like we're hitting the ground running. So we have live weekly coaching calls and strategy labs. So you get your questions answered and get help with implementation. You have weekly accountability calls with Coach Wanda. Wanda, give us a wave. So Coach Wanda is your accountability coach. She helps you set goals, stay on track, be accountable, help you with your mindset. She's amazing. You also have weekly tech calls with our tech manager, making sure that you get the support you need to actually get this stuff up and running. Private community access. And for everyone who joins on this call for your first webinar, you get an admin support for your first webinar to help you execute, right? That is the support. So we provide a 360 support system, right? It's your tribe and community. It's not lifetime access, but access to the program or to the trainings and expert support, coaching, and guidance. So again, successfully launch your webinar in 90 days or less. Today, you're getting this over $23,000 in value, but I'm going to give y'all an extra bonus. So all the systems that we're talking about in the last piece of today, we're going to get more into systems, but we want you to automate this thing, right? So when it comes to email marketing, text messages, your website, your funnels, calendar booking, payment processors, even hosting your courses and your digital products and your content, all of that's done from a system called Autopilot CRM, right? So you get 3 months free access to Autopilot CRM to get your stuff up and running. And the goal is by the end of the 3 months, you're generating enough revenue, not only to cover this expense, but to cover all of the expenses in your business. You get to come to, you get a virtual access ticket to my annual Mansion Mastermind. This is a 2-day event where we do annual planning for your business and even deeper strategies to help you take your business to the next level. These were the people who came last year. Steal My Assets. Again, you get all of the templates, the tools. I give you everything. The landing pages, my slide deck, give you everything that you need to just plug and play and make this thing happen. We've already tested it. I've already wasted money doing it the wrong way, figuring out what works and what doesn't work. All you need to do is plug and play. And then your AI dream team. Like I said, you get Sammy the strategist who's going to help you with your offer, who's going to help you with the research. All you have to do is tell Sammy, here's my ideal client avatar, find 20 events that I can pitch to come and speak to. Find 20 people that would be ideal partners for me to approach to be in partnership with, right? Chrissy, the copywriter, who's going to write all of your copy. Stevie, the sales coach, which again, at the end of this call, we're going to actually practice selling this, or you're going to practice a sales call with Stevie, the sales coach. All right. So you get all of those when you join the boot camp today. So everything you're getting today is almost $26,000 in value. And let me tell y'all, it is still a steal because this is not just a coaching program. This is not just a course. This is not just an ebook. This is a system, a repeatable system you're going to use over and over and over and over again in your business to consistently attract qualified leads and convert those leads. Whoever you follow, I don't know who y'all follow, whoever you follow, if they are one of these entrepreneurs who are out here and they're doing great, 9 times out of 10, they have a system in place that they do over and over again, right? Because we know that it works and it makes sales predictable for our business. Now, the normal investment, you have 2 options. You can either do it with me, where we give you everything you need to be successful, plus the support to implement, right? Which that's $5,000, or the do it for me, which we do everything for you, right? All you have to do is show up. I mean, you do have to do a little bit of work. You know, again, I'm not going to paint a picture that's not there. You do have to do a little bit of work, but my team is building out your funnel, building out your automations, writing your email sequences. They are building out your presentation slides. And we're also with you as you have an admin, dedicated admin, as you're in the boot camp for the first 90 days. That's $12,000. But what we're going to do, what we did for our 3-day challenge, and what we're going to do right now, Wanda, if you want to get that link ready, for those of you who join right now, you get the founder's rate of $3,500 for the do it with me, or $6,500 for the do it for me. And we have payment plans and we have financing. But I'm going to do something even more. On the first day of the challenge, what we gave for people who jumped in right then and there, excuse me, was an additional $500 off. So for those of you who take action and you use code, it's not sold out because we just opened it. But if you use code, I think it's 500 off. Give me 1 second. I'll just show you. If
Day
you
one
use the
25?
code, huh?
Is it day 125?
No, it should be. Let me see. So you're gonna click the link that Wanda's gonna put in there, and it's up here. Oh, 500 off. When you use that in the coupon code, it will take $500 off of any of the prices. So whether you're doing whether you're doing the done with you, the done for you, or even the payment plans, it takes the $500 off. So that means, so for those of you who need the payment plan, when you take $500 off, that means today the only thing you need to put down is like $600, right? So literally that is the boot camp. I'm so excited to open this up. Also, I want to just kind of give y'all a little extra bonus. Oh, also, if you join today, instead of the admin just being on that first webinar with you, they're going to be you're going to get 60 days of support. So 2 months of support. So if you're doing a bi-weekly webinar, for every webinar for the last 2 months of the program, you get an admin support for your webinar. All right, so that link is in the chat. All you have to do is put 500 off and you get the $500 off. If you pay in full, so we have one of these available. If you pay in full, Coach Nick himself will be on the webinar with you, coaching you in live time. Let me tell you, my clients shared, so for my one-on-one clients, I'm typically on their webinars. For my clients share, someone was debating if they should do the payment plan or the pay in full. I literally wrote her and said, hey, say this. She said it, and 2 people paid in full. So again, that's the benefit of having me on your first webinar with you, because I'm there with you to coach and guide. Listen, how many of you know that this is what you need? Like, is this valuable? Do you feel like with this you'll be successful? Another thing that we guarantee, because again, I'm not new to this, I'm true to this, and I know what we do works as long as you implement. Now, we don't make income claims or guarantees, but if you have not made at least, if you've launched, and from 90 days from launching your webinar, you've done the work, you've come to the calls, you've asked for support, we've problem solved, and you have not at least made your investment back, we will continue working with you for free until you do. That's my guarantee and promise to you when you take action into this. So listen, take action now. Again, the link is in there. I want to open the floor for questions. Also, Wanda, can you double check and make sure that coupon code is active? I forgot to look before. I just literally decided to give an extra $500 off. So does anyone have any questions? What's holding you back? Is this sound like exactly what you need to get your business to the next level? All right, put those questions in the chat. We're happy to answer.
Hey, I'm shared to the
I want you to hear what some of our clients have to say about this. And then once we come back, we're going to jump into the remainder of the content. And then again, for those of you who stay till the end, I'm going to pick one person to actually practice a sales call with AI where you're the customer and AI is going to show you how to sell this thing. So link is in the chat. Join us in the boot camp. Get that extra $500 off. And we'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Cher to the Race. I'm an author. I write Wanderlust Romance, and I would have left it at that. I would have probably tried to describe what Wanderlust Romance is, Black romance about women who travel around the world and, the men who chase them. But since we started working together, that's kind of changed a little bit, and it's still changing. So I'm Cher to Race. I'm an author. I write Wanderlust Romance, and this story is about perfectly imperfect women and the men who chase them around the world. And I also am now a major part of the travel community, the luxury travel community, and we're building a brand to just get women, perfectly imperfect women, booked.
what was going on in the business, and what made you say, you know what, I want to work with Nick and his team?
So a couple of things happened even before the VIP day. I think the first time I got on the phone with you, you kind of listened to what I was thinking I needed about this, and I was like, you are articulating everything I've been struggling to articulate, not because it wasn't there or I didn't think it was possible. I just didn't think I could do it as a one-man show. We kind of created this hook where my books are the offer, the front end. Hey, I'm an author. Check this book out. As a matter of fact, one of the first creative things we did together was come up with a creative dramatic narration of the first chapter of the first or the book that I was about to release. And what that actually did was got people to buy in. And then on the back end, they became a part of my contact list, if you will. So I went from an 800 member email list to now I have over 3,000 people on the list. And of those 3,000 people on the list, we built even more back end offers. We're bringing people through this free online webinar, and people are excited about this free information about how a wanderlust author like me travels the world in luxury to write her books, sometimes for less than $500.
And then we kind of transitioned into this whole travel world, and all we did was just continue to serve your audience and their interests. Talk to us, the people like to hear about revenue journey.
So real moment of honesty, the whole term of broke artist is a real thing. Revenue wise, I wrote my first book, published in 2021. So between 2021 and mid 2024, I probably had made $8,000 total in revenue for all books. 2025 first quarter. In one quarter, I have made more than I have made in the last 3 years on my books. So hopefully that describes it. I think it's 4X.
Say has been the biggest aha or your big win since working with us?
Webinars actually work. Having a training or a not necessarily a consulting offer, but having a course that people truly want information and that you actually give value actually works to generate revenue.
That's what I'm doing. Now just think, and I've had to ask myself this question, where would I be if I had listened to Coach Nick and not been resistant, if I had listened to him in the first place? That aside, I am so excited that not him, he had it all the time. See, he had the ability to read me, to know exactly what I needed. He had it. I didn't have it. So I am grateful that he helped me get clarity on what I was doing, on what my purpose is. And by working with him, he has given me the confidence to step fully into my power. I'm just saying, you need a business coach? He's the one. Ability to see what, for all my smarts, I just didn't see. He had the ability to lay it out in a way that made sense. It's like a step-by-step process. That's what it is, a template.
So when you launched, talk about your results of when you launched. How much did you make? How long did it take you to make it? And all the things.
In transparency, before I launched, I was making a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there. But when I launched, I made $7,000 in 2 weeks. So
Denise, the masterpiece, the goddess of love and motivation. I am a celebrity blogger. I have more than 500,000 followers. I'm close to growing to 1 million followers on social media. And then I came across Nick. I got in Nick's mastermind, and it's like all of a sudden I got excited again. I got reinvigorated, and I got to know myself a little more. As soon as I got into this mastermind, I went to a 10K month. Well, it was really a 10K week, but we're going to say a 10K month. And then the next month, getting more confidence on how to pitch my offer, how to reframe my strategy and my messaging. I literally had a 10K day. And let me tell you how good Nick is. In this 10K day, it was really a 10K like 3 hours. Like it was really like, like that.
Me launching my business, I had an $8,000 launch.
Since our launch, we have made 8 to 10K.
I was able to not only launch I Am Rochelle Cooper, also I was able to leave my full-time job.
I'm actually contracting employees.
Nick has helped us. We are now vacationing.
I made my first 5K launch.
I would say don't hesitate. Like the program is awesome. Trust Coach Nick's process.
Wherever you are, wherever you're watching this video, please do well to subscribe and join this coaching section. You want to launch your business, you want to take your business to the next level, you've been struggling with that big idea that you want to launch, you can actually start up something for yourself.
So trust the process, take the course.
If you just trust it, just trust it and actually go through the steps. But if you follow the process and take like each step at a time and do the assignments, like you definitely gonna see the results. And the biggest thing
We just finished a one-on-one session. Randy, just tell the people a little bit how you feel, what we accomplished.
All right, so at this point, well, before the call, I was definitely in limbo. I was explained that to Coach Nick, and in just 30 minutes, I got clarity. I have direction. Like the fog is clearing up, and I'm almost able to see this light at the end of the road in 30 minutes.
How excited are you for your new journey?
I'm too excited. I am too excited. And I just, like I told you, I just want to save these women. I just want to help these women. I just I'm sorry. I know it's being recorded.
It's all good. It's all good.
Man, and you just cleared that up. And you let me know what I'm really here for, why I'm still here, and why I'm overcoming the way I am. And thank you, Coach Nick.
Of course, you will help these women get their life back. So let's go do it. It's time to put our money where our mouth is. So let's work.
Let's get him. Let's get him.
Yes, let's get to work. Let's get to work. Randy always Yep. All right, y'all ready to jump back in here? So listen, the boot camp is open. So we can't wait to see you inside. We already have a couple of folks in this new cohort. Welcome, Stephanie. Stephanie has joined the boot camp. Let's go. Awesome. So again, that link is in the chat. We're going to jump into the remaining of the training today. Let's see, where did I leave off? Okay, right here. And then we're going to get y'all out of here. Okay. Let's jump into, so we talked about how to create a premium offer, right? Because everything leads back to the offer. And also for those of you, if you have questions about the boot camp, or if you need, Wanda. If you have questions about the boot camp, or if you need to talk to us and, hey, I need to figure this out and make this work, direct message Wanda. She'll pull you into a breakout room so we can figure out your specific situation and figure this out. If you want the help, if you want to implement the system, we're here to implement with you, right? No pressure. It's not for everybody. I don't expect everybody to take it. But for the few of you that do want to take action and want to take your business to the next level, install this system, we want to help you. So that's that. Let's get back to the content. We talked about how to create an offer, a signature premium offer that everything stems from. So your webinar content to the name of your webinar, which we're going to go over next, everything stems from that. So now let's talk about, how do you convict people? How do you convict people in this content? We're working backwards. So what's interesting is when I did my first webinar, I told y'all it was called the It was called Level Up. First of all, it was unclear, right? We're going to talk about headlines next. But it was Level Up, and I taught the 5 components of a business. And the problem was it was informational and not transformational, right? Your content has to do 3 things in order to convert, right? The first thing it has to do, it has to build belief. Well, it has this 3 beliefs it has to build. It has to build belief in you as the expert, right? So we have to build belief in you as the expert. This is where your authority building story comes into place, right? This is where your results, your accomplishments, what makes you qualified to speak on this topic. This is how we build the belief in you. When we first started this webinar, I told you I ran down my resume. I told you my story, right? I told you about how, yes, this was, I started this business and business coaching back in 2020, but my first business was in event planning. And I talked to you about the $100 baby shower and the $1 million contract, and then how I hit rock bottom, and then how I pulled myself out and how I landed here today, which why it makes sense that I'm teaching you about launch events because what? I have about 15 years experience in creating launch events, right? Building the belief in you. The second belief that has to be built is the belief in your system, right? Or your process, or your framework, or your roadmap, right? It has to build a belief in your system. And the way that you do this is you need to make sure that your content clearly identifies that it is that your offer is the vehicle to get them from point A to point B, right? And how this system makes the journey easier. Let me just ask for a raise of hands. When I taught you about how to create a premium offer, and then I showed you the GPT that we have in our offer to make that easy, did that clearly communicate how the offer makes doing the thing easier? Yes or no in the chat? Yes or no in the chat? We taught the concept, right? Oh, I'm on the wrong page, that's why I can't see. We taught the concept. I showed you what to do, right? I even showed you how to do it. Remember, model, customize, enhance. Even showed you how to do it. And then I showed you in the offer how we make it easier, right? Belief in your system. The third belief is the belief in them. And when I say belief in them, I really mean the belief that they can do this with your help. How do we do that? Testimonials, case studies, handling objections. In order to handle objections in a group setting, we got to know what the objections are, right? So when you join the bootcamp, we help you figure that out. These are the 3 beliefs that your content has to build on in order to convict. All right? The belief in you as the expert, the belief in your system, and the belief that they can do it with your help. All right. Let's talk about attract. So now that we've talked about the conversion, right, the offer, we've talked about the conviction, right? Belief in you, the system, and in them. Now let's talk about how do we attract them to our webinar. Now, we already talked about filling the webinar, and we already talked about the process and the strategy for that. But everything breaks from the front end back if you don't have this nailed down. So let's talk about, when we talk about attraction, it starts with, oh, this market going out. When we talk about attraction, first of all, it starts with you, right? How are you communicating and showing up in front of your audience, right? And this isn't even in the lesson plan, but you got to be confident. Got to be confident to a point where even if you don't feel confident, put it to the side. You got to show up confident, right? Got to show up knowledgeable that you understand your prospects' pain points, their limiting beliefs, their roadblocks, their desires, their wants, all of that. But when you're on stage and you position your offer, or when you make an offer from the stage for people to either meet you in the back of the room or click this link and join this webinar or whatever, wherever you're making the offer from, your title is one of the most important things. And people get this wrong. And this is what I got wrong. My first webinar's title was Level Up, right? Level Up. The problem with that is that it was unclear, right? It was unclear. It's like, level up what? Yeah, we're talking about business, but what part of the business? Why should I care? It didn't resonate with the audience. It didn't do any. I mean, people signed up because they knew me, which thank goodness, right? You're always going to get something, but it didn't convert the way that it needed to. Then we changed it to like 3 steps that entrepreneurs are using to reverse engineer. It was something long. And that was too complicated and it was too much, right? So here's what you need to remember for your title. It needs to be clear. It needs to be concise. And it needs to show, it needs to be like either result based or show transformation. Hopefully y'all get that the key word of the day is transformation, not just information. So again, like 5 components of a business was not enticing enough to make people register or show up, right? So I had the wrong title, had the wrong content. So it was mostly educational. I tried to over deliver, which made people overwhelmed. And it was a point of inaction and then the wrong approach, right? Instead of positioning my offer in the webinar, people felt that I need to get more things done instead of this is the thing I need in order to get those things done. So like when we talk about titles, I like to keep it, so we changed it from level up to 3 components of a whatever, entrepreneurs, whatever, to how to launch or how to build a 6-figure business and launch in 90 days or less. All right. That was the headline. So now the name of my webinar is called Business Launch Secrets, right? So you can name it whatever you want. That's small words. What really matters is the title, How to Build a 6-Figure Business and Launch in 90 days or less. All right. Now, there's also what's called the subtitle, which is equally as important. Now, this is usually where you are going to put like the if and or not if and the without or even if, okay? So for the subtitle, my subtitle was even if you don't have a huge email list or a huge following on social media, because a lot of people think they need a huge following on social media and a big email list. Now, what I did wrong when I first did this, the first subtitle was even if you don't have any capital. And what that did was it attracted people who what? Didn't have any capital, right? So we had to reframe that. And again, that all of that matters because when we talk about attraction, you can either attract the right people or the wrong people. You want your messaging to be so tight that it attracts people you want to work with and repels the people you don't want to work with. All right. Also, when we think about a winning headline formula, it needs to be so, and this is with all of your marketing, it doesn't matter if who you're serving, if they're at the top level of the career or they're super smart and it's scientists. Your messaging needs to be so simple a fifth grader can understand it. So don't overcomplicate it, don't make it complex. Again, you want it to be simple. And that is actually, have y'all ever heard that? Like marketing needs to be so simple that a fifth grader can understand it. Because there are people at different learning styles and different learning spectrums. Okay. All right. So when we're attracting, everything from the title to the subtitle needs to be dialed in. And then even you should also talk about the components or the takeaways, not components, takeaways. Right? In this webinar, you're going to learn X, Y, and Z. So for this challenge, let me show y'all. I'm gonna share my screen again so you can see live time. All right. So let me show you again. This is where we attract our folks. So everything here matters, right? So let's look at my headline. Learn the step-by-step system on how to sell more with webinars, one-day workshop. Close 5K to 20K clients using one presentation, even without a big list or solely relying on ads, right? It calls out whether you're an expert services, coaching programs, premium physical products, yada, yada, yada. Then we have a video sales letter, right? Telling you what you're going to take away from this workshop. Why is this important? Video converts better. It just does. People don't even watch the whole thing, so that's not the point. The point is we need to know, like, are you a real person? It starts to build the know, like, and trust, right? If you look at the messaging, yes, you can sell more, right? We're continuing to call out to our target audience. We're putting our testimonials to show social proof and to build the social proof, right? What are you taking away? Let's scroll down to, all right, like the lessons, right? Profitable or the one presentation profit plan, the unlimited lead strategy, the webinar selling system, content that attracts, convicts, and convert. So again, you want to think about for your webinar, what are the takeaways and not the takeaways that you want? How do we make them painkillers? Does that make sense? So those are the three components to attracting your idea, to making content that attracts, convicts, and converts. When we're attracting, it's everything that's getting them to sign up and to show up. It even goes through our emails. So a part of the email sequences, for those of you who joined the boot camp, we're giving this to you. Part of the email sequence is called an indoctrination sequence to build know, like, and trust in your belief in you, belief in your system, and that they can do it. This is what helps your show up rates, and this is what helps people understand why this is important for them to attend. But even before that, again, these components are important. Your title, your subtitle, and your takeaways. All right. This is the attract, convict, and convert formula. We're going to walk into this last part of the training for today, which is going to teach you how to sell. But before we do, are there any questions or any takeaways from this part of the training? We talked about filling. We talked about delivering the content. Any takeaways before we move into how we're going to convert? Feel free to put them in the chat or just come off of mute. We got anybody, Wanda? Everybody's deep in note taking.
I think so. Guys, feel free to unmute yourself. We have a small enough group where we really can just turn this into a conversational workshop, which would be great.
Take advantage while we're here. Okay. All right. So let's talk about how to sell this thing, right? So let's see, what do I want to go over first? Before we talk about how to sell and how to transition to the offer, We need to know our numbers, right? So you want to make sales predictable. The problem with most business owners is they're not tracking their numbers, so you don't know whether you're doing good or bad, right? You don't know whether you're hitting the mark or not hitting the mark. You're just going off of feeling. And in business, we don't want to make decisions based off of feeling. We want to make decisions based off of data, right? Everybody write data in the chat, right? Make decisions, business decisions based off of data. All right. So I think about my six-figure journey. Success is rarely just happens, it's planned. And the year that we did over six figures, $129,833.14. And I remember that because at the end of the year, when I was doing my taxes and we had to calculate all the revenue, I didn't even know we hit six figures because I was just down like in the weeds. Um, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me back up. The year before we hit six figures, we almost hit six figures, right? And I didn't know because we were just down in the weeds. The year we hit six figures is the year I got serious about playing with my numbers, dialing up, dialing down, right? And let me show you this. When you join the boot camp, another thing you get, it's called the CEO webinar dashboard. And this is what helped us go to six figures and beyond, hit multiple six figures because we got serious with our numbers. So this is the webinar dashboard that you get, and this is where we're going to spend time. Again, how many folks showed up? What sources did they come from? Right? Um, how much did you make in sales? What's the revenue? Where are the gaps? This is how we find gaps. This is how we find what's not working. And this is how we optimize. All right. So I wanted to show you all that because when you track your numbers and know your numbers, that makes all the difference in the world. There's a couple of conversion formulas you need to know going into this. Conversion formulas. All right. The first formula that I want you to write down is your show up rate. All right. Your show up rate is the number of attendees divided by the number of registrants. All right. So we take how many people showed up to the webinar, and we take and keep in mind, people come in, they drop off. So again, when you put things into a system, we show you how to track this. So you can just pull this number, again, data, not feeling, right? So the number of attendees divided by the number of registrants. You also need to know your live conversion rate. Your live conversion rate are the number of buyers divided by the number of people who saw the offer. I'm going to put IMP for impressions. So it's not how many people logged on at the beginning. It's not even how many people stayed through your core content. It is how many people stayed until you drop that link, right? Number of buyers divided by the number of attendees that saw the offer. That is your live conversion rate. Your lifetime conversion rate is the number of buyers divided by the number of people who register for that webinar. So in the dashboard, you're going to notice that there are dates because, again, every time you do a webinar, you should be tracking the analytics from those. But anytime you make a sale or anytime you make a close, you should attribute that close, that client, to that webinar that they either registered for or they may have came to another one, that last webinar they registered for, right? That's going to give you your lifetime conversion rate. All right. Then you want to know your cost per result. And to figure this number out, It is your spend divided by number of registrants, right? So how much does it cost you to acquire a lead, right? So if you are spending $500 on ads and you get 500 people registered, then you spent your cost per result is a dollar, right? That's not right. Yeah, it is. Your cost per result is $1. So it costs you $1 to get a registrant for your event. If you paid to speak on stage or you paid for a vendor's booth, right? Or maybe you paid to sponsor in someone's email list, then how much you paid versus how many people registered is your cost per result. Now, your return on spend or if you're doing ads, your ROAS is your revenue divided by your spend. This is going to tell you if you're profitable or not. And listen, if I don't care who says whatever, if you make 10K or if you make 100K in a day, but you spent 102K, you're not profitable and that wasn't successful, right? You must be profitable in business. Like, don't just strive to break even, strive to be profitable, right? So this is an important number to know. The last important number to know is your CAC. CAC stands for cost to acquire a customer. And this is your total sales and marketing expenses. So I'm just going to put expense. Your total sales and marketing expenses divided by the number of new customers. New customers acquired. That gives you your cost to acquire a customer. You need to know that too. Because if you don't know how much you need to spend to get a customer, then you don't know what your budget should be, right? And you can't scale it, right? So when you know these numbers, you can scale things, you can find where things are missing, you can make tweaks so that you can optimize. All right. All right, y'all got this? Can I erase this? Put yes in the chat if you got it. So now that you know your conversions, now let's talk about the work back method. So the work back method just says you need to know, all right. So this is so that you can goal set. So based on what your revenue goals is, I want everybody to drop their revenue goal in the chat. Drop your revenue goal in the chat. Let's say your revenue goal is $10,000. Your revenue goal is $10,000, right? So we need to know a couple of things. One, how many sales do we need to hit this goal? So if you have a product that's $1,000, then you need 10 sales to hit this revenue goal. All right. How many leads do I need to convert to hit those sales? Or how many leads do I need in order to hit those sales? So let's say, we like to see anywhere from a 10 to 20% conversion rate, right? So let's just say we're doing 10%, right? So to make 10 sales, we need 100 leads. So I need to get 100 people to show up to the webinar. That's not sign up, that's show up, right? So I can hit my sales goals on the webinar. Now, once we know how many people we need to get in front of, how many people do we need to register? right? So again, we have anywhere from a 30 to 40% show up rate. So let me do some math here. So if I have a 40% show up rate, and I need 100 people on my webinar, then what we want to know is how many people need to be registered. And actually, let me just show y'all. All I'm doing is math. Give me 1 second. Let me go back to the dashboard. So again, for those of you who are joining the boot camp, y'all get this. We make this super easy for you. So we do launch projection math. And so here we go right here, right? So let's say we're at 29%. Let's say we have a $1,000 offer and we're closing at 10% and we want to make $10,000, right? So if we're at a 30, let's change this to 40%. Let's see, 300, 250. Boom. So this just very easily showed me we need 250 people to register for our webinar. At a 40% attendance rate, we get 100 people of them to attend live. If we close at 10%, we close 10 people at $1,000 to hit our $10,000 goal. Right? And you do this for any goal. Let's say now, okay, well, my goal is to do $100,000 and I'm going to make a 10K offer. Oops. Oh, now it's, oh, come on now. Okay, there we go. I'm tripping. Come on, Nate, get it together. There we go. All right, and it's the same for 100,000. It's same for the $100,000 goal, right? It is all about the numbers. All about the numbers. Now, let's talk about how to convert these people so that you can hit your goals. All right, that's the work back method. So when we're talking about group selling and tactics, listen, it's definitely an art and a science, but it's not as difficult as you think it would be. So when we're talking about selling on a webinar, first, a lot of people get nervous about how do we transition to the offer. For those of you who are still with me, what did you notice about the way that I transitioned to my offer? Was there any note? Did you notice anything in particular? Y'all still with us? Let's see. I think we got some folks who are at work. Oh, there we go. Alicia said you asked. You asked us. Yes. Yes. And even before I asked, I confirmed. Oh my gosh, what's going on with this marker? Even before I asked, I confirmed that value was delivered, right? Did you get value out of this training today? Did you learn what I said that you were going to learn? Did I deliver on what I said that I was going to deliver on, right? Because when you're in business, it's about an exchange of value at every stage. I have something you want, you've got something I want. Let's switch, right? I'm going to give you value, you give me value. So step one is to confirm the value. Step two is to ask for permission. This is how you do it without being salesy. All right, ask for permission. So you notice that I asked you, did y'all get value? I said, hey, would you mind if I showed you what it is that we do, how we help entrepreneurs like you build out this system and actually implement it in your business, right? And then three is extend the invitation. Doesn't invitation sound so much better than pitch? Right? Doesn't it feel better? It's like a different energy. You extend the invitation. You tell them about the offer. You tell them about how it helps. If you did your content right, again, you followed the attract, convict, and convert formula, then this should be the obvious next step, right? Like, I have an obligation and a responsibility as a business owner, someone who provides solutions, that I'm not only going to show you the problem, I'm not only going to show you the pathway, but I'm going to offer to help you implement and actually execute, right? So, extend the invitation. And again, we're going to go into some details about how to make that invitation juicy. And then 4 is show them why they should accept the invitation. Right? Why they should accept it. Now, we do this through a couple of different things, and this is going to lead into our next section, or our last section, which is group selling tactics, right? How do you sell to a group? How do you get people to move and to take action? Now, people don't move unless you give them a reason to. So what was the incentives? Does anybody remember the incentives for those who take action today for joining the boot camp? Can anybody put that in the chat? Or come off of mute. So one was, yep. So one, yes, was admin support, right? Incentive. That's a part of the bonus. Another one was the normal price is $5,000 for the done with you, $12,000 for the done for you. But if you join today, we chop that almost in half. So $3,500 for done with you, $6,500 for done for you. We gave an even more incentive live in the moment, an additional $500 off, right? So again, give them, why should I take action now? For those of you paid in full, I talked about me being on your webinar, coaching you through it, right? Why take action now? So you need bonuses, you need incentives. That goes back to that promotion, but this is in deeper intention to get people to move to take your offer. So here are some things to remember when it comes to group selling. If your offer is anywhere from $9.97 to maybe $19.97, right? If you do a 90-minute or less webinar, you can sell this on the webinar, or you can move them to book a call. You're always going to convert higher when you book a call, just because, again, you can give that one-on-one time there. We opened up the breakout rooms today, again, so that we can give more one-on-one time to people who had more questions. $9.97 to $19.97. You can sell on the webinar, so sell live, or you can move them to a call. All right. Now, anything $19.97 or more, if you're doing a 90-minute presentation, so let me do this. If you're doing just a 90-minute webinar, right? You're gonna move them to a call. I'm sorry, that's more than $19.97. And some of you, you get, depending on how warm the audience is, how hot the audience is, you can do more on a call, especially if they're like previous clients. But usually to a cold audience, if it's more than $2,000, bring them to a call, you'll convert higher. If you want to convert on a webinar, from what we've seen, you need at least 2 to 4 hours or more. Now, I know some of you are probably like, 4 hours? Again, you're in a 4-hour workshop now, right? So this is a 1-day workshop, right? So again, how do you reframe this? This goes back to the attraction method, or the attraction formula, right? You could do a 1-day workshop. You can do a 3-day challenge. You could do a 5-day summit. You could do a half-day intensive. Again, you just want to position it so that people understand what they're attending. but also you have enough time to make the conversions. But make sense in the chat if this is making sense. But make sense in the chat if this is making sense. All right. Anything $2,000 or below, 90 minutes, you could do live or bring it to a call. Anything above $2,000, typically you want to bring them to a call, or you need to do a longer event. Awesome. Cool. I got my people still with me. All right. How do we give them a reason to take action now? So there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that I want you to include in your webinar or in your offer to get people to move. The first thing is urgency. All right. You need to create urgency. Can you create a limited time offer? Does your bonuses expire? Can you include countdown timers? So again, we gave you the 5, for those of you who attend live, give you $500 additional off. We're giving you 60 days of admin support when you take action right now on this call. Once we close this Zoom call, that goes away and it's back to, you still get the $3,500 off for a limited time, but that's it, right? Like it goes back up. Scarcity. Scarcity. Limited spots. So can you do it for the first number of people that take action, you get this bonus. So again, for mine, for the first person who pays in full, I will be on your first webinar coaching you live time. Right? Scarcity bonuses. FOMO. I like to call people out when they join, right? So calling them out, celebrating attendees who take action. Even if you're bringing people to a call, you still want to say, Wanda, I see you booked your call. Let's go. Hey, Wanda, would you mind coming up and telling the audience what made you take that step to actually book that call to learn more, right? Causing FOMO, fear of missing out. Social proof. This is your testimonials. This is your case studies. If you don't have testimonials or case studies, go get some, right? Go do it for free. Go get someone a result and display and ask for a video testimonial in exchange. The most powerful testimonial is a video testimonial. The next is a screenshot written testimonial. The next is just a written testimonial that you wrote. And then the bottom is you telling someone a result that you got them. So at the end of my offer, I showed you, hey, look at the results we're helping our clients get. Listen to them. Don't listen to me. People believe, if you don't know this, you will now. People believe more about what other people say about you than what you say about you. People believe more about what other people say you can do for them rather than what you say you can do for other people. So video testimonials, social proof is so important. Risk reversal. Does anybody remember what the risk reversal for joining the boot camp was? The risk reversal for joining the boot camp was if you join the boot camp and you launch your webinar and within 90 days you have not made at least your investment back. Let's just say that was a good video testimonial. Yes. If you join the boot camp and you launch your webinar and in 90 days you haven't at least made your investment back, we will continue working with you for free until you do. A lot of people want to go down the route, we'll give you your money back and do this and that and the third. And honestly, by the time you get to day 90, we have invested the money that you've invested in the level of support that we provide because we over deliver on the support, right? But here's the thing, your clients don't want their money back. Your customers don't want the money back. Do y'all know what they want? They want the result. I want you to do what you said you was going to help me do, right? So again, you don't always have to do a money back guarantee, but can you work with me for free until I at least make my investment back, right? It's always a good thing. Again, it depends on what your offer is, and you have to make sure that it makes sense and make sure you have stipulations in place in order to do that, right? And then the last piece is believability. Believability. Believe in your system. You can do this by showing stats, your results, and other clients' results. You can show the level of support that they get. Earlier in our call, I talked about how Statista talked about how marketers in all of these areas said that webinars was one of the top performing marketing funnels in their business. And I said, my question to you is, why aren't you using it, right? How can you show stats that people need your system? Right? Believability in your system, believability in your brand. So your brand story, right? The confidence in which you stand up here. If I got up here and I was fidgeting and I was like, oh, if you want to buy it, you can. And I think that this works and I think this is what you should do. No, I'm in your face, right? I'm in your face. I'm answering questions live. We're workshopping things live. I'm showing you things live, right? The confidence that you exude will trump competence, right? So even if somebody is like, all right, I may not have my offer all together, or I may not have the system, but this is giving me the system. The confidence in this program is going to give me the support I need to walk with me to implement this is why I'm investing, right? Your confidence. Sales is simply a transference of energy, right? If you show up timid and not sure, your prospects will be timid and not sure. If you show up confident, I know that I can help you, your prospects will be more confident. Believability in your brand, believability in your system, believability in your brand, and then the believability that they can do this with your help. This is overcoming unspoken objections. This is the benefits of your offer. This is calling out limiting beliefs, overcoming mindset. I like to say coach them to the finish line, right? Coach them to the finish line. Now, when you get to the offer, here's the confident closer blueprint, right? When you get to your offer, here's what I'll say. Sell at your level of conviction. I like to push my clients. Number one, you should be charging a premium. I'm going to show you how to do it. But I also don't force you to sell at my conviction. Sell at your conviction. Because if you don't believe what you're worth, if you don't believe what you're doing is worth a premium, no one else will. If you don't believe what you're doing, you could charge $10K for, I'm certainly not going to believe it as the attendee on the other end of the line, right? Here's another thing I want you to remember. Don't skimp through the invitation. Don't skimp or speed through it. Take your time. If people are still on there, they're still listening, they're still interested, right? You have a couple of different types of buyers on your call, and this is why you don't need to skim through the pitch. All right. So there are 4 types of buyers or 4 types of people on your call, right? One is impulsive. Impulsive or people who are quick action takers, right? People who will take action in the moment. If this makes sense, I'm investing, I'm taking the next step, right? I'm ready now. Yes, this makes sense. This is what I need. You have analytical buyers. Analytical buyers are, I'm interested, but I just need to know. I need to tell me a little bit more. Tell me more, right? I need to know a little bit more. All right. These are the 2 people in your webinar that you're directly pitching to and you're talking to, right? These are the only people you're really worried about on the webinar. Now, you have 2 other people. You have future buyers. Future buyers. These are people who I know I need this, but now really isn't the time. So it could be financial, it could be a true objection, but they're just not going to buy right now. they'll buy later down the line. These are the people that you're nurturing, right? These are the people that you're following up with. These are the people that are going to go in your after sequence. Then you really just have your spectators. All right, everybody has them. You're always going to have people in the audience who they are never going to buy anything. They could either not be the right fit, they could just be nosy, they could be, or they could just be in the habit of consuming information and not taking action, right? So these are the 4 people that are on your webinar. These are the 2 people that you're talking to on your webinar. This is the person that you're following up with, and this is the person that you just want to figure out who they are so you can get them off your list so they stop taking up space. Okay? If you keep this in mind, you will convert more. All right, and you will close confidently. Now, the last piece of closing confidently is handling objections. All right. And so simply to handle objections, you want to prepare to handle the objection. You want to practice handling the objection, and you want to use the objection handling framework to overcome objections. Now, here's how you overcome objections. And if y'all were on my challenge, like y'all would see, I usually handle objections live time. So like I'll ask people like, what's holding you back? What's keeping you stagnant? If you join the boot camp, you actually see me doing sales calls, and you'll see me handling objections and closing sales. And this is the framework that I use. Step 1 is to call it out. Call it out, right? Call out the objection. Hey, some of you may be thinking, am I going to have time to do this? All right. Step 2 is to make an agreeable statement. Agreeable but statement. You remember when your mom used to tell you, don't say but because that cancels out everything ahead of time? That's exactly what we want to do, right? A lot of you may be thinking about, do you have time to do this, right? And I hear you. I hear you. You commit to everyone else but yourself. You place your business on the back burner for so long for the support of other people. But can I push back a little bit? Can I challenge that way of thinking for a little? Can I challenge that way of thinking? So we want to make a counter statement. This is why I say coach them to the finish line. Can I push back on that way of thinking for a little bit? How many times are you going to place your business on the back burner and prioritize other people's needs above your own? Right? Or let's say they're like, oh, I'm going to try to do this on my own. Some of you may be thinking that you're going to do this on your own. And I get it. I used to be, I'm going to try to figure it out on my own too. But can I challenge that way of thinking? If you could have done it on your own, why haven't you done it yet? Right? How long are you going to attempt to try to figure something out instead of working with someone who has done it for themselves and other people? Would you rather, here's another counter statement, would you rather take what you've learned during this workshop, try to implement it on your own, and if you run into a roadblock, not have someone to ask or someone to lean on? Or would you rather join our boot camp to where you have the support system, and not only that, you don't have to do any of this from scratch. You get the templates, you get a launching pad, a support system, and expert guidance in helping you launch and build this system in your business. Then the last step is make a closing statement. Closing statement. So I'm going to challenge you, even though you may think you may not have time. I want to challenge you, if you were to take my hand and you were to commit on your part, can I help you make time for yourself? Can I help you put your business back on the front burner? Can I help you reprioritize your needs above everyone else's? Right? Can you dedicate a couple of hours a week to your business and let me hold you by the hand and get this system implemented, click the link in the chat and say yes to joining the boot camp today, and let's take your business to the next level. This is how you handle objections, right? And it honestly doesn't even matter if it's on a webinar or it's in person or on a sales call. This is the framework to handle it, right? Y'all, this is how you convert. The very last piece of today, I'm going to show you the actual system. I think I'm going to show you the system. Yep. So after you've done this and you've made the calls, that's not where it stops. The next piece is the process that follows afterwards. All right. So I'm going to show you this and then we are going to wrap this up. If you'd like to practice, Alicia, if you'd like to practice your sales call, let me know. We could still do that. But okay, here we go. But you really need to have this, you really need to have a system and a process to follow up with people even after the webinar. So let's open this. Okay, so this is Autopilot CRM. Again, when you join the boot camp, you get 90 days complimentary access into the boot camp. Okay, Alicia, we'll do this next. You get complimentary access into the boot camp, and we already have everything built out for you, right? All you have to do is plug and play. Now, your follow-up process, let's see, that's going to be in your automations. So everything is in what's called workflow. So post webinars, you want to, like I said, you want to follow up people who did not attend. You want to follow up people who purchased and then people who attended, but they did not buy. And literally you want to follow up with them in a couple different mechanisms. You want to do email, text message, and phone calls, right? So if they don't convert on the webinar, you should try to convert them on a call. Whether that's you doing a cold call and getting them on an actual book sales call, or you calling them and converting them right on that call, right? And this is how you automate the process. So when you join the boot camp, you get all of this, and all you have to do is plug and play. And you use the GPTs to do that plug and play. That's what makes it easy. We even have the landing pages built out. So like, let's say you want to do upsells and downsells and all of that. You already have these landing pages where you literally just plug and play your stuff instead of our stuff, even the checkout page. All right. So just go in here. We're going to do the workshop. We're going to come to VIP Day. We're going to show you how to put all this together. We're going to change it to your branding. And literally, that's all you have to do. This web page already converts. We already know that it converts. So you just plug and play. There's also something called the power dialer. Now, the power dialer, this is basically where, I don't know if I could show it in here. Let's see, conversations. So the power dialer, so we can't show you on here, but the power dialer is basically like, let's say you had 100 people register for your event, 20 people showed up. If you follow ours, 30 people to 40 people show up. And you're like, okay, I want to follow up with everyone who did not buy. What the power dialer does, okay, let me see if it's in here. Oh, it is in here. Okay. What the power dialer does, it just lets you call people like automatically, right? You don't have to dial the number. You don't have to do any of that. If they don't answer, it sends them a follow-up text message. It sends them an email, and it sends them a voicemail, right? So all you have to do is just do the work, right? But you don't have to waste time doing all of this. I used to manually text people, email people, and leave a voicemail for everyone that I called. And I was like, there has to be an easier way. automation is the way. Again, when you join the boot camp, you get all of this. I hope that this has been helpful. We're going to wrap this up with practicing an actual sales call. And so I want to invite Alicia to come up on camera. Alicia, are you with me?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, did you get some value out of today?
Yes, I definitely did. Yes, this is very helpful.
Good. What has been your takeaway so far?
I like the way you had talked about the different type of buyers on the call. That was very enlightening to know, like the two that would actually take action, those two that you talked about. So that was, I got a lot out of that part.
Yes. So important because when you know that, then you don't get discouraged when you don't hit your sales. You just know that it's like, oh, okay, the other people were future buyers. I just need to follow up with them.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, Alicia, here's a couple of things I need you to do before we actually practice your sales call. So, Stevie, the sales coach, if you join the boot camp, you will get access to her, and she's going to help you practice your sales, help you convert more, right? Using our frameworks after our training. So, tell me, what do you do? Who do you help? And then we'll go from there.
Yes, I am a Christian dating coach, and I help Christian single women get back out on the dating scene so that they can meet their future husband.
Okay, yes, I love that. Y'all give it up for Alicia. And then Alicia, tell me who your target audience is.
My target audience are Christian single women over 30 who have not, typically they haven't been on a date in over a year. So that is my target audience.
Okay. And then tell me, what is your offer?
Yes, well, I have a tiered offer. So I have them in experiencing, and I'm just testing it out. But like the first tier is called the Love Clarity Call. It's a 60-minute Zoom call with me. They get a strategy plan afterwards. They also get a recording of their session. So that's the first tier. Then the second tier is the Love Success Package. And
Okay.
they get three 60-minute Zoom sessions with me, but they get 3 months to use them so they can use it whenever they want to with that package.
Okay.
And the last offer is the Ready for Forever Love, and it's a 3-month coaching program. And I meet with the lady once a week to do the 1 hour call, and in between sessions, they have access to me via text message. So they'll be able to get tech support in between the sessions, and all the calls are recorded.
Okay, cool. And then how much is the last program?
Um, have it right now for 1,500.
Okay, all right. Are you joining the boot camp?
I hope so. I'm playing. I'll be able to join. Yes.
Okay, all right. We're gonna help you raise that price, sister. But okay. I'm gonna have you repeat all of that, right? And the reason I asked you that is because we've done this a couple of times. People get shaky with their offers and then we have to redo it. So you're gonna tell so again, when you join the boot camp, Alicia, you are going to use Stevie the sales coach, and you're gonna go to voice mode. Now, I am going to tell Stevie, I want you to help me. I'm going to tell Stevie, set it up. I want you to help me with my sales call. I want to be the customer and I want you to be the salesperson. Right. And then Stevie's going to ask you questions about you, your brand, your offer. And that's when I want you to speak and let Stevie know. And you're going to pick up from there. So you're going to be the customer. Okay. You got that? You're the customer. So you need to already get in your mind objections that you've been getting and limiting beliefs that they have and all of that stuff, right? And I want you, it's role play. So you're gonna talk to Stevie just like you're the customer. All right.
Okay.
Hey Stevie, can you help me with my sales call? I want to be the customer and I want you to be the salesperson.
Absolutely. Let's flip the roles around this time. I'll be the one walking you through the sales conversation as if I'm the seller and you're the potential client. But before we dive in, give me just a little bit of context. What's your offer about and who's your target audience? That way I can tailor my sales pitch to feel real for you.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yes, my target audience are Christian single women over the age of 30 who have not dated in over 1 year. So that is a target audience. And then I have 3 offers for them. The first offer is called the Love Clarity Call. That is a 1 hour Zoom session with me. And with that, they will get their session will be recorded and they get their action plan on what they need to work on or how they will get their breakthrough. So that is the first offer. The second offer is the Love Success Package. The Love Success Package, there are 3 calls that are 60 minutes and they will have 3 months to use them when it's best available for them. So that is a Love Success call. All the sessions are recorded and they will get a action plan on how they can move forward. And then the third offer is the Ready for Forever Love mentorship program. And that is a 3-month one-on-one mentorship program with me. I meet with them weekly on Zoom for 1 hour. And in addition, they also get tech support. So they'll be able to text me in between sessions to get support. And all of the sessions are recorded. So those are my offers.
Perfect. That's exactly the kind of context I need. So let's dive in. I'll play the role of the sales coach, offering you that first option, the Love Clarity Call. You just be yourself as the client, and I'll guide you through how I'd handle this kind of sales conversation. Then we can switch gears and you can try it out yourself afterwards if you want. All right, let's imagine we're on a call. I'm going to welcome you in. Stevie is the sales coach. Hey there, thanks so much for hopping on this call with me. I know you're a busy woman, and I'm really excited to chat with you about how we can get you some clarity on your love life. So let's just start with this. Tell me a little bit about what's been the biggest challenge for you in getting back into dating after that break. Now you can go ahead and respond as the client, and we'll just roll with it.
Yes, I would say my biggest challenge is just having fear getting back out on the dating scene.
Absolutely. And that's a really common feeling, especially for the amazing women I work with. So here's how I'd guide you if we were on the Love Clarity Call. We'd spend this hour really focusing on not just the fear itself, but getting you a crystal clear action plan to feel confident stepping back out there. And the best part is you're going to walk away with that recorded session and an action plan you can revisit anytime. So let's dive into that and see what that plan might look like for you. And that's how I'd start off. Now you've got a sense of how I'd handle that initial part of the conversation. We can switch roles whenever we're ready, or keep going if you want more examples.
Yes, I'd like more examples.
Absolutely. Let's keep it rolling then. So as we continue in this scenario, I dive a bit deeper. I might say something like, all right, let's get really clear on what a breakthrough would look like. You got it. Let's keep going, and I'll flesh out how I'd guide you through more of that call. So after we've pinpointed that fear is a big challenge, I'd say something like, all right, let's break that down together. Fear is just a feeling that's trying to protect you, right? And in our Love Clarity Call, what we do is we shine a light on exactly what that fear is telling you. Then we turn it into a step-by-step plan so that you feel super clear and confident about your next move. By the end of the hour, my goal is that you're going to know exactly what your first steps are, and that fear won't feel so big anymore. Then I might give you an example of what that action plan could look like. I'd outline maybe 2 or 3 simple steps, like how to start a conversation online or how to build a little more self-belief before you go on a first date again. And I'd remind you that this is all about clarity, not pushing you, not convincing you, just helping you see your own path. So that's another layer of how I'd handle that conversation. Hopefully that gives you a good sense. Whenever you're ready, we can flip it around and you can try it out as the seller.
Let's continue with you as a seller, but go for the close.
Absolutely. Let's take it right to that closing moment. Stevie is the sales coach. So from everything we've talked about, it sounds like what you really need is that safe space to gain clarity and an actual roadmap for stepping back into dating confidently. That's exactly what the Love Clarity Call is designed for. So here's what I'd love to do. Let's get you booked in for that 1 hour session. We'll make sure you leave with a clear action plan and a recording you can revisit whenever you want. And we can find a time that fits easily into your schedule, no rush. How does that sound to you? Are you ready to lock in a time for that call? So that's how it moves.
How much is it?
Yes, at this time I have it for $97.
Perfect. And that's a really approachable price point for the kind of value you're delivering. So let's roll with that. Stevie continuing as the sales coach. Great question. So the Love Clarity Call is just $97. I've set it at that price, so it's super easy for you to say yes to getting that clarity you deserve. So if that works for you, let's go ahead and lock it a time. I can send over a booking link right now and we'll get you all set up. And that's how I'd handle that close. As you can see, it's all about keeping it clear, keeping it service oriented, and just guiding them naturally to that next step. Let me know if you want to practice it yourself or if you need anything else.
Let's practice handling objections.
Absolutely. Let's dive into objection handling. So one of Coach Nick's favorite formulas is that 4-step approach, right? We call it out, use an agreeable but statement, add a counter statement, and then close them to the finish line. So go ahead and toss me an objection you think one of your clients might have, and I'll show you how we can walk through it using that formula.
I've bought these calls before, and I don't know that they've been as helpful, so I'm a little afraid to invest.
Yeah, that's a common and really understandable objection. So let's walk through it. First step, we call it out. I'd say something like, I totally get it. You've invested in calls before, and it sounds like you didn't really get the value you were hoping for. Then we add that agreeable gut statement. So I'd continue. But what we're doing here is a bit different because our entire focus is on giving you a clear, actionable plan you can actually use, not just generic advice. Then we do the counter statement. In fact, what sets this call apart is that you walk away with a recording and a tailored action plan that's unique to you, so you're not left wondering what to do next. And finally, we close them to the finish line. So how about this? Let's give it a try with that in mind. It's a small investment to finally get that clarity, and I think you're going to feel the difference right away. And that's how you walk through that 4-step formula. Let me know if you want to try it out yourself or if you have another objection in mind.
All right, Alicia, what do you think?
Wow, that was really awesome. Yes. It was,
Yeah. Do you feel like that was helpful and gave you clarity on like how you should structure your calls?
yes, it definitely did. Yes, I like the AI.
Good. Yes. Well, listen, we train that thing, so it has all of our stuff. So we hope to see you inside of the boot camp so you can use it and really just again, this is the business aspect of it. Like, how are we following up with people? How are we closing them? How are we doing on our calls and moving people to that finish line? So thank you so much for being our example today.
All right, thank you.
No problem. So listen, for those of you on YouTube, we're going to close this out. I hope that y'all got value out of today. I hope that you took away something that you are actually going to implement. If you don't do anything else, implement, implement, implement. For those of you who are ready to go to the next level, you are ready to say, you know what, let me install a system in my business to help me grow my business to the next level. And I know webinars can be that system. I want to help you implement everything that I taught here today. And not only implement, I want to give you the support. I want to give you the tools, the resources, the training. I want to invite you to Atlanta so that I can teach you live in person, but also give you professional content to use to attract, convict, and convert and take your business to the next level. I hope that this has been wonderful for you. I am going to let Wanda take us on home. I am Coach Nick. You can find me on all social media at Nicholas Marque, and can't wait to see y'all on the flip side. Wanda?
Thank you so much, Coach Nick. And thank you to everyone of the business owners and the entrepreneurs that joined us today. Elisa, that was amazing. I was taking notes. I loved it. And I literally could see the aha moments happening for you. And that is absolutely what we want to see, and it's what we want to hear. And I just want to thank all of you again for helping us, for joining us today as we help other entrepreneurs and business owners and how to sell more with a webinar. I want to check in with you and make sure that you got value, make sure that you're implementing this value. And so I want to talk about what the next step is for all of you listening. This is really where separation happens. And as Coach Nick mentioned, some of us are addicted to gaining the information and gathering information. And what happens is because we're inundating ourselves with information, we're not taking any action. You've seen enough. You have enough information. You have seen enough of our strategy. You've probably been on other webinars and seen enough from those leaders as well. And I want to encourage you to do something different today, to do something you've never done, and that's take action. So what does that look like? That looks like taking this conversation to the next level. What would it entail to start a webinar selling system with what you do today? How many more people can we reach? How many more eyeballs can we get on your business? Not 6 months from now, but now in the next 30 days, 45 days, 60 days. The year is not over. I don't want you to give up on your business and push this for 2026. You don't have to do that. You can still close 2025 on a high with consistent revenue. That's the key word. So I want to invite you to take this conversation to the next level. That means when you get an email, reply to it. That means that when someone follows up with you, be brave and take the phone call, and let's have a conversation on how we can get you started. And here's what I want to leave you with. As a business owner and as an entrepreneur, as someone also who has been in sales for over 15 years, what I've seen is that there's two thoughts. There's two parts of the brain when you have this conversation. There's the how can I part of the brain, and then there's the I can't part of the brain. And you cannot live in both places. If you're thinking right now, I don't have the time, then you're right. If you're thinking, I don't know how I can make this work financially, then you're right. If you're thinking my spouse doesn't want to hear about one more idea, then you're right. And that means that business is not for you. Because what's going to happen when the next hurdle comes and you talk yourself out of it, it's going to be painful. And if you know what it's like to be part of a painful business that's not making money, you probably want something different. But I want to encourage you to stop thinking about what your limitations are, because if you feed your limitations, you'll have more of them. Yeah, maybe you don't have that full 3,500 today. Okay, let's have a conversation about what you can do. Maybe you don't know what that looks like in your schedule. That's what our job is. Let's have a conversation about how we can implement this system with the time that you do have. Our job is to help you get into the how can I side of the brain and stay there, because that is ultimately what an entrepreneur is. That is what a business owner is someone who is willing to problem solve. So I want to test your entrepreneurship. I want to test that business ownership in you. I want to test that passion that you want to turn into profit. Let's test that. And let's just ask ourselves, how can I? And I want to dare you to have a conversation about how you can, and quit entertaining the conversation that you can't. And so we're excited to take this to the how can I part of your brain and have that conversation with you and get creative with you on how we can take this to the next level. We know that your business and the people that we serve are all unique, and they all are facing something different. And that's why we make our program unique. And we're going to solve this problem with you and figure out how you can get started. For so many of us, we're so accustomed to not being able to do things, to not being invited, to not being in that upper echelon, to not being in the big rooms. We're just so accustomed to being pushed to the back that we even push ourselves to the back. That when someone is inviting you through the front door and saying you're welcome, that you insist on entering through the back door. Some of us are just so beaten by things not going our way that we don't even give ourselves an opportunity to enter through the front door. I want to give you an opportunity to enter through the front door and work with a coach who has created multiple six-figure businesses, not theory, practiced results. This is real. And I want to invite you, if you're hearing my voice, you're already qualified to do this. All you have to do is take the next step. So Coach Nick, thank you so much for the afternoon. Thank you to all of our guests that were on the line today. We're so excited to continue this conversation with you. I'm going to give you back your afternoon, and I just want to ask you, what's going to be different? As you leave this call, what's going to be different? Are you going to go back to the same plan that wasn't working? Are you going to do something different? Because there's people who want to help you do something different. Quit saying no one cares and no one wants to help you. People want to help you, and we're those people. Thank you guys so much for having us today, and we'll see you on the inside